Picture being the most goated emperor alive, only to catch a massive L from the demon queen, and then reincarnating into a super heavy dude in a universe with literally zero cultivation. To make it wilder, gender roles here are completely flipped. The women are out grinding at work, while the guys are basically stay-at-home house husbands. Our main man just wants to survive this totally female-dominated society. These women are absolute predators, and he desperately needs his old cultivation powers back, making things way more toxic. The exact girl who murdered him and forced this whole reincarnation mess actually followed him into this dimension. Just like our boy, she's grinding to get her powers back and secure that revenge. Still, thanks to some absolutely sick training, he manages to drop all that extra weight completely. Big mistake. Getting shredded just makes him a massive target for the ladies here. They start thirsting after him in the most feral way possible. While on a quest, he finds out women are not the only things to stress over. Demonic monsters and underground martial arts are totally still a thing here. With all these crazy red flags, can our guy even survive this flipped reality? The plot kicks off with him scrolling the internet and spotting a wild article. Netizens are claiming that the whole macho man aesthetic is destroying the male mindset. Apparently back in the day, women were the top-tier geniuses touching the heavens. But this new tough guy vibe, totally ruining it. Now watch this. Reading this absolute nonsense online, he seriously questions what server he just spawned into. 2 days have passed since he dropped into this new reality. And honestly, he's definitely not used to this super heavy build, because in his past life, he was the literal emperor of his generation. Every time he checks the news feeds, it is just endless reports of muggings. Zero cultivators exist here. It is just a modern society where the roles of guys and girls are backwards. That demon he fought back then was so incredibly overpowered that both their bodies got vaporized. Surviving was pure RNG luck. It is an absolute miracle. His spirit managed to drift across dimensions and hijack a recently deceased host body to reincarnate into. Speaking of which, his new gamer tag is Lin Mo. Based on the downloaded memories, he was a rich kid attending some elite private academy. Lin has zero clue if that demon boss also managed to respawn somewhere, but until he gets his stats up, he has to play the role of Lin Mo, which means even a goated emperor has to attend class. Throwing on clothes, he leaves his bedroom. Checking the crib out, he figures his family situation is pretty decent. Still, this entire house is smaller than his old fish tank. Memory check: his parents apparently passed away in a crash, and his grandma is bedridden in the hospital with memory loss. His distant aunt basically stepped up as his guardian after he got left behind, so they all packed up and moved in with her. And get this next thing he knew, his aunt completely hijacked his assets, and his living standards took a huge nosedive. Strolling through the house, our boy walks up to a table. The kid rocking that ridiculous cowlick hairstyle is named Yoon, and the other one is Zixuan. Lin suddenly pops in, announcing he got there just in time to chat about his academics. He admits Jianwei is completely right, calling the whole thing a massive joke. Hearing that specific name drop from his aunt makes him pause. Digging through his downloaded memories, his grandma actually set up an arranged marriage before losing her memory. And awkwardly enough, the bride has that exact name. She was totally shook finding out, like, no way she's dating a dude with that much extra weight. Classic isekai moment, he gets absolutely leveled by a truck crossing the street. Because of that mess, his aunt straight up canceled the engagement, totally baffled. Basically, this goated emperor is now stuck marrying a random normie. Wild, right? All thanks to some woman's choice. Back in the kitchen, Ison asks if he's even listening. Our boy just brushes it off, tells her to stop setting up these cringe blind dates. Catching Lin's vibe, Ison realizes he is acting low-key different right now. Out of nowhere, he is giving off this insane boss-level aura. Lin sits down, thinking this whole diet thing is totally killing his appetite. But if he doesn't want this body to literally starve, he gotta chill. Snagging a bite, he admits it smells pretty fire. Then his cousin asks why he isn't studying abroad. His old squad knew he was basically a softie. But now, Lin wonders why he's even talking to these NPCs, especially since this emperor ruled for thousands of years. But hey, he needs to play the normal guy role. He drops the bomb that he's staying put. He's actually vibing with his current school. The cousin says the school totally doesn't matter, as long as his grades aren't mid. Just munching away, Lin decides talking to this dude is a massive L. An hour later, our main guy is chilling in the car when the driver announces they made it. His cousin immediately begs Lin to literally not walk out right next to him. Lin just hits him with the coldest side-eye, leaving the kid totally shook. Stepping out next, Lin posts up right in front of the massive school building. He admits this world's architecture is sick. But yeah, there's a big problem. These dudes stand out way too much, just flashing their super pale legs everywhere. Honestly, at least the girls seem pretty normal. In the back, two girls are totally hyping up his cousin's legs, calling them gorgeous. Completely disgusted, Lin thinks the whole scene is so gross he might actually throw up. Whatever, He needs to touch grass and forget it, who knows if that demon is alive. Plus, he totally needs to buff this body before she shows up. Cruising through the hallways, Lin tracks down his actual classroom. Some random in the back starts flaming him, pointing out his ex-fiancée is right there. His supposed wife is just chilling at a desk, chatting it up with two girls. Spotting Lin, she looks super salty, clearly not a fan of him. Lin thinks it's wild how mortals can be this annoying. He just strolls to his desk, leaving Yanu completely confused. Taking a seat, he wonders how to jumpstart his cultivation grind. A classmate grabs his shoulder, saying he should really stop trying to simp for her. Real life is definitely not an anime, pointing out she looks mature, but warns him not to fall for her sus words. Remembering her face, Lin realizes she's definitely his classmate. She keeps talking. She asks how Yanu could ever like a bottom-tier guy. Seeing Lin totally silent, she figures she went too hard, saying he still has a shot with Yanu if he just hits the gym. Lin cuts her off, asks her to spit out what she wants. She blinks, asking how he knew she was plotting something so sneaky. Lin fires back that she's definitely not nice enough to act this friendly. Turns out she actually needs a favor. She wants him to carry her in a game, promising it won't take long, and for a reward, she will introduce him. This girl, who is literally prettier than Yanui, knows that mountain is completely out of reach. Alone, sure, but she has premium connections to skip the hike, so she's definitely going. Over summer break, she hypes up the crazy night views, warning he would regret it if he bailed. Lin remembers a sick rumor about tall mountains attracting stuff. Serious spiritual energy. Since that peak is super close, there is a huge chance of finding it, right at the summit. Plus, it is a goated opportunity for his current body to finally drop some weight climbing. He agrees, admitting he is actually pretty trash at video games, which totally makes her day. She says they are fighting some absolute idiot from class 3 who loves acting like a sweaty try-hard, so after school, they plan to use the club computers. Later in the computer lab, the girl casually mentions to him she booked the room for themselves, so nobody's going to bother them today. Chilling in her gaming chair, she tells Lin to log into a fresh account. Our boy punches in his password, getting logged in without a single hitch. Loaded into the game, he checks the interface for this insanely competitive action title, rocking an Immortal Cultivation theme. His friend spawns in, saying she actually called the server boss for some heavy backup. Right on cue, the boss drops in, loudly pointing out that she actually brought a dude. He totally vibes with Lin since they share some mutual friends. Killing the awkward vibe, she announces they are launching the 3 versus 3 match in player versus player mode. Dashing ahead, the girl tells them to hush while she wrecks the entire enemy squad. His friend orders him to touch grass and hide while she scouts. Lin is thinking that only legendary, goated beings from his past life were truly immortal, but the cultivation mechanics here feel way too similar to his actual reality. Assuming this modern world might hide real immortals, he definitely needs to stay completely alert. While camping, a death feed notification randomly pops up. That confident girl from earlier respawns, looking incredibly tilted. Sprinting back out, she admits she totally threw and wants serious revenge. Sadly, she gets totally clapped again, repeating the miserable loop of running it down mid. But now his friend is finally jumping in. Even so, they get absolutely stomped. Back in reality, his gaming buddy is raging hard because not even the server boss could carry against this sweaty player. She warns Lin to seriously watch out, because Flying Feather is hunting him down. But Lin stays completely chill while moving. Our boy remembers grinding his raw combat instincts for literally thousands of brutal years, letting him flex those skills even in video games. Meanwhile, the enemy squad keeps chasing him down, while 2 fangirls completely simp over their top player. This girl claims he cannot run forever. Glancing back, Lin spots an assassin tailing him. Hitting the brakes, he remembers his emperor status. Nobody has ever dared to chase him. Realizing Lin spotted her, the enemy player ducks into cover. He just nods to himself, acknowledging her sick reflexes, realizing his sluggish stats definitely cannot win a head-on fight, since the combat mechanics here are insanely clunky. Back in the physical room, Lin pops an ability. The girl watching his screen scoffs that he is a total noob who is completely lost. Here is where things get wild. She rushes him. Lin furiously hits the keyboard and mouse with insane speed. Firing off a combo at the woman, he lands a massive hit, and the death feed lights up. On the enemy team, everyone is absolutely speechless that he actually clutched the win. Leaping up, his friend screams he is absolutely goated. Good. Seeing him completely spaced out, she asks if he is doing okay. Lin realizes he had absolutely no clue that his physical stats were this trash just from burning a tiny bit of spiritual energy. Jumping back into the game lobby, his buddy begs for a rematch. But this girl is fully locked in. Watch this. She finally cornered her target. Wondering why he always dodges fights, she pushes forward to completely wreck our main guy. Meanwhile, Lin is just booking it. Spotting the girl on his radar again, he decides to seriously buff his leg stats, chucking his heavy broadsword straight at the girl. She scoffs as he's seriously trying to snipe her from that distance. Boom, a direct hit to her leg. She immediately eats dirt and wipes out. Staring at the massive blade, she wonders if this was a brutal warning to back off. Outside the game, her teammate says they really need to stop sweating this dude, but she completely ignores that, demanding to know if anyone has his actual contact info. Slumping in her gaming chair, she whispers Lin's username. On the flip side, his buddy suddenly gets a random call from her squad demanding a meetup. Hyping Lin up, his friend calls him completely goated, wanting to run a couple more rounds. But Lin is totally burnt out, reminding him not to forget their earlier deal. A bit later, Lin is finally walking up to his front door. Crashing on his bed, he mutters about his real body being basically glass. Fast forward to the next morning. Walking to class, his cousin calls him, demanding he tell the whole school that his engagement to Yano is completely fake news. Lin casually replies that fake drama does not even need an explanation. Storming off, his cousin calls him ridiculously toxic. Once inside the classroom, his friend spots him arriving, asking if he realizes that savage girl they fought is Xiao Yutang. Turns out she actually goes to their school, and it looks like he went through pure hell after his breakup. He mentions the angry gamer girl wants to meet up, but tells Lin to chill because she probably will not actually swing on him. But before he even finishes, Lin shoots him a literal death glare. The buddy instantly shuts his mouth, quickly stammering that he was definitely not calling him Momo baby. Just then, Yano marches right up to Lin's desk, loudly declaring they have to clear the air, demanding he admit they are not actually getting married. His bro says she's doing way too much. Lin is just a guy and deserves some basic empathy. Yano claps back, asking what that even has to do with anything, or if he actually likes Lin. Cutting off the drama, Lin says, real or fake, there is absolutely zero chance he would ever date her anyway, telling her to touch grass. Yano fumes that his ego is completely out of control, not realizing how annoying he is, ordering him to never bring up their engagement ever again. In the back, some kid whispers Lin is an absolute gigashot for not crying yet. Another guy admits if it were him getting cooked, he would drop out of school instantly. Suddenly, the door swings open. The defeated gamer girl walks right in, rolling deep with two backup goons. The entire class starts whispering about Xiao Yutang showing up. Rumor has it she's pure menace energy, and anyone who actually messes with her ends up leaving school. Walking right up to Lin, she calls him. Apparently, Yano is actually her sister, asking what she wants. But she just drops Momo baby, his completely embarrassing gamer tag right in front of everyone, demanding he follow her outside. Meanwhile, a totally annoyed Lin just stays in his seat, realizing he is basically an art. He is the emperor, absolutely not Momo baby. Behind him, two guys ask how he got so incredibly close to Yuding, and why she calls him Momo baby. His buddy actually apologizes. The girl totally wanted to play with our guy solo. He just needed to hang out with her, then he could literally do whatever. Leaving their room, Lin mutters that these dudes need to go touch grass. Outside his class door, Yuding waits. She admits she totally did not expect Momo baby to be a guy instead of a girl. Wild stuff. Back in the day, women threw hands using real combat skills. Now it is basically an art form. She starts firing questions at Lin, desperately wondering if he is the actual goated player who wrecked her in-game. She demands he find her after class for a sick one-on-one duel. But honestly, Lin claims he barely played and only won by pure luck. He drops that he is heading right back to class. Super salty. Yuding wonders if this dude even knows her epic rep. Another girl chimes in. It makes total sense. Lin is not scared at all. After getting dumped, the guy literally has zero love left in him. Yuding, in response, orders her squad to drag the boy over at noon. Heading back into the classroom, some guys demand to know what Yuding sent him. His female friend claims Yuding is totally simping for our guy. She just wants some private time with him. The friend tells him to chill out since she is taking him to Wu Mountain this weekend. Plus, she invited some other girls. Giving a literal death glare, Lin tells her to absolutely not bring anyone else. Imagining some spicy stuff, the friend gets super embarrassed. She rambles that he should not catch feelings for her. Right then, another girl rolls up, announcing Yuding is waiting for our guy. Honestly though, Lin is already gone. Down in the cafeteria, Lin chows down while random background characters roast him for eating way too much food. Up at the counter, the boy just asks the server to bag it up. Walking out, our main guy thinks he is still not used to this noisy world. Watch closely. He really should not get mad over it. But wait, someone approaches the boy, whispering crazy stuff about his body dying in a single year. If he wants to actually survive, he needs to merge with her for some major wish fulfillment. Walking along, everyone stares at her unreal beauty. The woman claims she made the absolute right call. His 18 years of life are hers now. She casually drops that it is kind of sad his entire emotional roller coaster of a life is just a drop in the ocean to her. After grinding for ages, she finally managed to beat the Emperor, but it was totally not the ending she wanted. Now, her only real option is reviving the demon world, but the Emperor always plays dirty. This means he absolutely will not stay dead. She has to watch out. He probably spawned into this world too. Calling this new reality super fascinating, she never ever got her bashed dad to approve of her in the demon world. No matter the grind, just because she is a woman, those guys looked down on her and just wanted to own her. Until the day she finally slapped on an evil spirit mask, wrecking everyone so they would literally fear her. Over here though, guys are totally at a disadvantage, and cultivation is honestly not bad despite the low spiritual power. Plus, she is gorgeous enough that dudes literally stalk her. It has been a minute since that fat boy was tailing her. As a woman, being direct is key. Looking back, their eyes lock. The girl flat out tells him to quit following her because things will definitely get. Literally nothing happens. Our guy just strolls right past, completely ghosting the poor girl. Mega awkward. She figures she better grind for strength before dipping out of this reality. She copes by assuming dudes here are just super shy. So Lin was probably just blushing. Like, obviously he wouldn't admit he followed her. Bro just stayed quiet to dodge the cringe. Now watch this. Our main character is highly annoyed, wondering why this random girl keeps tailing him. Spotting Lin heading up to the roof, she thinks he really needs a better spot to touch grass. But wait, normal students avoid that place. People in this universe are completely physically and spiritually weak. Is he seriously about to jump off the roof? Honestly, that is so not her problem. Still, it bugs her. The original owner of her body had a friend who yeeted themselves off a building too. Rushing up to the roof, she decides to honor this current body's lingering regrets. Busting through the doors, she catches our main character standing right on the literal edge of the drop. She instantly tries popping a skill to freeze him in place. Big fail, though she completely forgot her mana is at 0. Meanwhile, Lin is just chilling. He thinks it is mad freezing up here, so grabbing lunch is the better play. Suddenly, this girl rushes in, screaming at him to hold up while bear hugging his stomach. Lin is so confused. She literally lifts him up, begging our guy to step away from the ledge. But our guy is way heavier than he looks. They both go crashing down hard, and snap goes one of her ribs. Big ouch. Pinned on top, Lin says he barely had a second to react. What on earth is her deal? She groans out that she was just saving his life. He was totally about to jump, right? A broken rib? Just for him? Lin is absolutely baffled by this. Did this crazy girl actually think he was trying to end it all? Guess it makes sense. In this weird universe, guys are soft and ladies carry the muscle. He offers a hand up, telling her she seriously needs to chill her imagination. Bro was literally just getting fresh air. Jumping off a roof was never on the agenda for today. Plus, he's so not into her. She is absolutely dying inside. She snaps at him to never show his face around her again. Walking away, Lin smirks. This chick just rejected a literal emperor without even realizing it. Well, if she does not want to carry, that is totally her problem. Back in class, his friend immediately asks where he wandered off to. She says Yu Tang has been hunting him down, warning him not to bounce after the bell. Our guy straight up deflects. This mess is entirely her fault, so she better go fix it. But she insists she will tag along after school to go play games with Yu Tang. If he just throws the match and lets her win, Yu Tang might actually back off. Lin hits her with a hard no. Taking a total loss to a little girl, even in a game, not happening. His friend keeps begging, but our boy stays ruthless. Not his circus, not his monkeys. Even when she promises to do absolutely anything, Lin stands his ground. Hard pass. His friend knows she is completely cooked. Eventually, the long school day finally wraps up. Standing up, our guy tells them to head out, reminding them about their Wushu Mountain promise. Mid-stride, something clicks for Lin. He remembers body slamming that crazy girl up on the roof. Is she alright? Human bodies in this dimension are basically made of glass. She definitely cracked a few ribs at minimum. Since lives here are super highly valued, he could totally catch a charge for that. And that would be a massive headache. Time to go track her down. He decides to check on her. Meanwhile, she is still stuck on the roof, complaining this new body is completely nerfed and cannot even stand. Plus, the wind is freezing and she is starving. She considers screaming for help, but her pride absolutely refuses to let her do it. She cannot believe this plot twist. A goated demon who defeated the Emperor just got totally wrecked by a chubby kid. Suddenly, someone walks up to her, realizing it is actually Lin. She asks why he returned. Kneeling down, Our guy just stares, thinking she looks absolutely terrible. He gently puts a hand on her back, pointing out that she cracked some ribs. He says her stats are trash and she needs to touch grass. But the girl snaps back that this is entirely his fault. As Lin removes his jacket, the Empress, getting totally flustered, asks what he thinks he is doing. Wrapping her up, he mentions the roof is freezing and tells her to just wear his coat. Pulling out his phone, he says he is calling an ambulance, but the Empress stubbornly rejects his jacket. Our guy already knows she is totally grossed out by his jacket because of his weight. Still, she realizes her current body is super fragile, and she can ditch it the second the medics show up. But honestly, for her, it is not even about that. She never expected this guy to be so chill. This world has wild beauty standards for guys anyway. She has no idea why Lin is helping her out, but she decides to keep him on her radar, regardless. A bit later, the ambulance rolls up, while the Empress is loaded onto the stretcher. Two random girls spot the drama. Totally embarrassed, she swears she will literally never forget this humiliating day. Cut to nighttime, our boy is heading home. Walking inside, his cousin immediately demands to know why Yutang approached him. Lin coldly states he is only going to explain this once. Zixuan suddenly realizes this kid has a pretty dangerous glare, noting he has been acting way more aggro lately. Zixuan claims Yutang definitely did not seek him out willingly, claiming Lin must have started some major drama. Because of this mess, he threatens eviction. Now you know Lin is not taking that disrespect. He, asking what kind of nonsense he is spitting, reminds him this is actually his house. Zixuan, getting ready to slap him, yells that he asked for this. Effortlessly, Lin catches his wrist and just squeezes tight. Lin thinks this dude is so ridiculously weak, it is not even worth flexing on him. Dropping to the floor, the cousin whines, threatening to snitch that Lin attacked him. Storming into the kitchen, the uncle angrily asks how he dares to lay a hand on his cousin, ready to throw hands. But with zero effort, Lin catches the grown man's fist too. The uncle is totally shook that Lin overpowered him so easily. Lin just drops some free advice, never try to mess with him again. Practically crying, the grown man calls him a bully and snitches to Lin's aunt, claiming the kid is, causing a massive scene. Marching into the room, she tells everyone to shut up. Glaring at Lin, she senses his vibe is completely different now. She says she does not care what happened and orders him to apologize to his uncle immediately. Lin finds this hilarious. She is the very first mortal to ever demand an emperor apologize. He refuses, stating he did nothing wrong and therefore will not apologize. She fires back that without an apology, he absolutely will not get his holiday cash. Lin just shrugs, keep it. Heading to his room, he realizes she meant actual money. Then it hits him, without those funds, his trip to Wu Mountain is completely cancelled. He literally has 0 items of value here, and 0 savings. Figuring he can flip some old clothes and shoes, Lin boots up his computer. Shocked that a buyer replies instantly. 3 different girls down in the comments are already asking wildly personal questions, trying to find out if the items. Lin Mo is completely shook that scent is still there. He never feared anything, not even actual demons, but those women? Terrifying. Still, he gotta hustle for cash. Bro hates being broke, but realistically, getting his stats back up is step 1. Your physical form is literally the hardware for cultivation. If he can absorb some spiritual energy, getting rich is basically guaranteed. Fast forward a few minutes, he is completely wiped out. 0 mana means his physical stats are nerfed. He honestly has to forge his body from scratch. Then his phone blows up, his classmate calls, saying they really need to chat about Wu Mountain. Since her buddy heard Lin was heading up there, she wonders if rescheduling is a safer bet. Lin brushes it off. No big deal. They are totally sticking to the plan. She warns him the bus leaves first thing tomorrow, so do not oversleep. The next morning, Lin Mo rolls up to the breakfast table. Zixuan questions the early alarm, asking if that girl Yanu finally agreed to a date. Lin gives him absolute silence. His arrogant cousin, deep in his own head, wonders why the kid is dodging him and plotting something. Zixuan tells him to keep eating like absolute trash, since his fancy ride just pulled up. Down by the bus, Yanu yells at him, acting panicked and demanding they board immediately. Once seated, she complains Lin has been acting wildly different since getting rejected, bringing up how he literally shoved Zixuan during a yelling match with his dad. Yanu keeps venting, saying bringing Lin Mo to Wu Mountain was a massive mistake from day one. The fact he tagged along annoyed her. Another girl chimes in, joking that Lin looks way too heavy, like he stands 0 chance surviving the hike. Then Lin's loyal classmate steps up. She reminds them they share a homeroom and need to drop the toxic attitude. Honestly, she never expected Lin to actually show up today, but he is clearly fearless, dealing with Yanu's drama. She decides to stick by his side for moral support. Lin suddenly boards a bus. Before he can even sit down, Yanu physically blocks him, demanding to know why he attacked Zixuan. Stepping right into the crossfire, his nice classmate argues it is definitely fake news. Lin is chill, she insists, waving him over to the front row instead so he can check out the scenic view. Settling into those front seats, she politely asks the driver to pull over at the upcoming station for a +1. Lin Mo just zones out, crossing his fingers that Wu Mountain actually has the loot he needs. But check this out. He spots this girl on a sport bike, aggressively swerving toward the giant bus. Tires screech as the driver slams the brakes hard. Pulling off her dark helmet reveals Yutang. Lin's classmate instantly panics, terrified this biker chick hijacked their ride just to jump Lin Mo. Jumping up, she volunteers to handle the crazy girl, demanding to know her problem. Yutang smirks, claiming she is hunting down that chubby kid. Staring daggers at Lin, she roasts him, saying without his massive hitbox, she would have entirely missed him. The whole bus instantly cracks up at his expense. Yutang orders him to skip the lame mountain hike, pitching a way better plan, teaming up for some gaming. Do that, and she swears she can convince his future wife to take him back. Lin Mo is totally over this side quest though, bluntly telling her to touch grass and leave. Yutang asks if she is being annoying. Honestly, without this guy, she never would have taken a single gaming L in her entire life. Getting aggressive, she demands an answer, are they playing or not? But Lin is distracted. He realizes her shiny necklace is actually pulsing with cultivation aura. Sure, the craftsmanship on the thing is totally down garbage, but creating a magical item in this mortal realm is insanely rare. Wondering if real cultivators still exist, he agrees to game with her after touching grass on the mountain. Lin's friend then hypes everyone up for a massive mountain trip. Yutang is skeptical, asking if Lin is actually down to hike that beast. Since he is the unpopular big guy, she just wants to watch him struggle on the trail. Meanwhile, some random guy slides in, smoothly offering her the open seat right beside him. She could not care less though, tossing her motorcycle keys to a buddy to handle her ride. She asks if Lin has that specific game, wanting to 1v1 him right now. He isn't doing this for free though, demanding a solid reward for taking the win. Yutang accepts the bet, raising the stakes. If he loses, he becomes her permanent servant. She totally ignores the random dude to focus on Lin. The rejected guy asks Zixuan if Lin is actually goated at games and why Yutang cares so much. Zixuan just shrugs. He is completely clueless about this whole vibe, and he finds our main character annoying anyway. Back to the match, Lin is sweating against Yutang. Spotting a clean opening, he charges up an attack. Yutang is genuinely shook by his insanely fast speed and crazy reaction time. She takes the ultimate right to the face. The system crowns Momo Baby the clear winner. In real life, Yutang is absolutely mauling over the loss, demanding to know how his precision is that cracked. But our guy just casually flexes that it was all calculated, calling the game an absolute breeze. She actually starts thinking he might be a total genius. Little does she know, he literally used his cultivation powers to overclock his brain. Time to collect the loot. Lin does not hesitate, demanding a flat 10,000 in cold hard cash. Yutang scoffs, asking if that is really it, casually offering to make his toxic ex-Fanny come crawling back. She even offers to make him her personal duo partner starting today if he is down. Ignoring the flex, Lin just wants the bank transfer, knowing this cash secures the exact materials to reforge his body. Whipping out her phone, Yutang instantly sends the funds over. She also drops her digits, demanding he actually pick up whenever she decides to call. But he is definitely not allowed to spam, call, or leak her number. Watch this. Our guy just smirks, thinking even as a literal emperor, his ego was never this massive. Getting up from her seat, she complains about the tight spacing, bossing Yanhuai to slide up to the front. This completely panics the poor girl, who worked super hard just to lock down a seat near Zixuan. Standing tall, Yutang snaps at her to quit stalling. Yu debates yelling at her sister, but holds back to avoid causing a massive scene. Then Zixuan chimes in, claiming Lin actually had something to say to her and she should go check it out. Getting up, she heads straight over to our main guy. Internally, the guy is absolutely hyped to finally score a seat right beside Yutang. Trying to spit some game and introduce himself, Zixuan instantly gets shut down by Yutang barking at him to zip it. She is mentally gagging if she knew this dude was so annoying and drenched in cheap cologne. She totally would have just shared a seat with Lin. Pulling up to Wu Mountain, the class is pretty shocked by the insane altitude. Lin's friend takes charge, telling the squad to keep up and stop lagging behind. 30 minutes in, Lin watches the guys gassing out, realizing they are in worse shape than him. Once he gets his full cultivation back, he is absolutely putting them through hell for a few centuries. His friend notices him trailing alone, but decides she cannot risk dropping back to actually help him out, because if others caught them hanging out, it would totally ruin her social credit. 20 minutes later, Lin is still climbing, lost in his own thoughts. Our guy is completely gassed out since his stamina stats are basically zero compared to the squad. Soft, hard pass. The other dudes are actually low-key ripped. Seeing Lin Mo totally out of breath, his friend figures since she dragged him outside to touch grass, she should probably carry, asking if he needs a hand. But Lin Mo tells her to keep pushing ahead, he is not quitting just yet. He reminds himself this fatigue is literal child's play compared to his past life as a boss. His friend is super confused about why he is trying so insanely hard right now. She says she will go first, and if he totally taps out, just holler at her. Meanwhile, the background NPCs are completely shook that our guy already cleared the halfway point. The other dudes are totally wiped out and seriously thinking about rage quitting. Lin Mo stays locked in and keeps grinding toward the summit. He looks up. A whole squad is already heading down. Another girl is hyped that he actually soloed the climb and showed some serious grit. His friend points out the crazy altitude, suggesting they just ditch this and hit up a restaurant. Lin Mo tells them to bounce without him. He is making it to the peak. Mad annoyed, his friend asks if he has a death wish, but the other girl says let him cook. 20 minutes later, our boy finally reaches the very top of the mountain. Yutang is already chilling up there and is mind blown that he actually pulled it off. Too bad he spent 90% of the trip lagging completely behind. By the time he peaked, the rest had already dipped out, leaving him totally solo the whole way. Staring at the stars, he realizes this spot is absolutely packed with spiritual chi energy. It is not enough to max out his stats yet, but he can finally start grinding. This is exactly what he needs to outplay that annoying venerable demon. As long as he gets to level up, he does not care about the time, he will always return. Then Yutang taps his shoulder, straight up asking what his deal is. He claims he is just enjoying the view, leaving her thinking this guy is super annoying and weirdly quiet. But get this in his head. Lin Mo knows back when he was a goated emperor, game over. He would have canceled her existence instantly. Yutang orders him to step aside since she's claiming this spot now. Lin Mo deadpans that he is beat, telling her to carry him down instead. Yutang says she is done messing with him today, tossing the dude a random snack. He's officially her sidekick now, and since she is bored, she's heading down first. Ripping open the wrapper, he realizes it is literally just her half-eaten leftovers. He shrugs it off. Back in his past life, he ate literal monster carcasses, so whatever. Dropping into a meditation pose, he decides to kick things off by cleansing his marrow. Much later, it gets dark, and his friend hits him up asking if he is seriously not coming back. Lin Mo says the vibes here are immaculate, so he is staying for the holidays. Swiping through his phone, he figures he better text his aunt about it. Calling her up super casual, he straight up says he will be ghosting for a few days over break. Hanging up, a receptionist walks over and asks what he can do for our guy. So Lin Mo asks for the damage on a private room for a whole 2 months. The dude says it is a flat 8,000 yen. So Lin Mo spends his entire break grinding, scaling that mountain nonstop every single day. The workout is brutal, but trust me, the stat boosts are worth it. 2 whole months fly by, and his friend hits him up saying she is outside, asking if his bags are ready. She figured she couldn't reach him all break, which meant Yutang kept blowing up her phone nonstop. So she absolutely had to drag him to Yutang, no matter what. Meanwhile, Lin Mo is checking himself out in the mirror. But get this, even after 2 months, his internal spiritual energy is still pretty weak. Looking like an absolute goated Giga Chad, he decides he should just stay a mid-student. Later on, his friend admits she finally managed to track him down. But when she actually looks at him, she is totally stunned by his insane glow-up. She totally thinks she got the wrong room, straight up imagining marrying this guy. Looking slightly awkward, Lin Mo notices her staring. Totally embarrassed, she immediately tries to dip. Figuring he thinks she is a total creep, Lin then asks where she is going, since she actually got it right. She then asks if he is Lin Mo's friend. He just says he is Lin Mo. She absolutely refuses to buy that though, guessing they just share a name. But Lin explains he simply lost some serious weight, asking why she looks so completely shook. Sure, he changed a crazy amount. His whole vibe is different. Grabbing the bags, Lin says they should go. Then it hits her that cold stare and edgy tone mean this is definitely Lin Mo. She realizes she is not dreaming. He really just leveled up that much. Glad she never actually bullied him before, she casually asks him to carry her heavy backpack. But then another girl suddenly pops up, offering to help our guy. Moving fast, his friend practically sprints to the car, holding the door for him. Once inside, she points out that he looks absolutely incredible right now, asking if he spent all this time hiking mountains, because that grind definitely paid off big. And the second Yan sees his new look, she will totally regret dumping him. He is about to have endless girls chasing him, but he needs to know it is all totally fake. Lin just tells her to shut up. Panicking, his friend wonders if he absolutely hates her for not climbing that stupid mountain with him. If she had just been nicer back then, maybe he would have fallen hard, giving them a perfect romance. Still, there might be a chance, since she is currently the closest girl to Lin anyway. Saying he must have endured some insane training, she suggests they go grab some really good food. But Lin just wants to go home. A little while later, he's already back at his house. His friend simply says she will catch him in a few days. Then the driver girl asks if she's not taking Lin to go see Yutang after all. But Yen says the plan changed, thinking she absolutely cannot bring a helpless lamb into a wolf den. She just needs his gaming account. Now watch closely. Because Lin Mo finally steps inside his house. His whole family is completely shook by his new look, demanding to know who he is. But the guy just says he is Lin Mo, and just lost some weight. Even so, Yuan totally refuses to believe him, because no amount of weight loss makes someone that gorgeous. Then his mother yells at everyone to chill, asking if he got some crazy plastic surgery. He reminds her she has all his cash, so that was literally impossible. He then asks if he is getting his allowance for this semester. His aunt promises to cover all his daily expenses and even buy him a fresh new uniform. But if he messes with his cousin or uncle ever again, she is completely cutting off his cash flow. Standing up, Lin says he is already perfectly satisfied, and his aunt finally realizes he really is Lin Mo. The very next day, our guy is riding in a car with his cousin, heading to school. San asks why they are driving so slow today, so the girl promises to speed up. Honestly, she just cannot stop staring at the main character. Dude looks absolutely unreal now, and she is totally simping over him. Lin finally steps out. Everyone on campus completely loses their minds over his looks, asking who this Chad is. His salty cousin wonders why Lin is pulling all this hype. Seeing girls literally spamming photos of him, the guy feels extremely weirded out. He totally ignores it and heads into class, taking his usual seat. Some random girl thinks he is a new transfer. Liv basically figures he just dropped some pounds. Even with that simple change, he is looking way better than before. Still, he normally never gets this kind of crazy clout, so she questions the fan club. Suddenly, massive drama kicks off. Wutang grabs the main guy's best friend, saying she gives her exactly 3 minutes to fetch that chubby kid. Yanu swears that version of him is completely gone. Wutang threatens to end her for capping, so Yanu panics and agrees to spill Lin's location. Pointing straight at the main character, she insists he is Lin, post-crazy holiday glow-up. Staring at the absolute unit, Wutang looks totally baffled. Raging, she screams that this Giga-Chad cannot be Lin, but Yanu is being totally dead-ass. Our boy casually steps up, confirming the girl is speaking straight facts, telling her they can hit the gym together anytime. Catch him after school. Then, Wutang demands his real identity again. Yanu repeats it is literally Lin, freshly shredded from hiking Wu Mountain all break. Sweating, Wutang questions if this extremely goated dude actually is the same chubby kid from before. Meanwhile, our guy flat out tells her to drop the old nicknames. Recognizing his exact voice and goofy vibes, she finally accepts this really is Lin. Thick or thin, it changes absolutely nothing, so he better wait up after the bell. Yanu quickly explains someone else actually gamed with her yesterday. Lin only logged on to fill the squad lobby, meaning the guy is pretty trash at gaming. Glaring intensely, Wutang completely locks onto her. She asks how dare Yanu claim Lin sucks, dropping the bomb that Yanu used his account yesterday just to troll her. That makes Yanu the most toxic player ever for trying that stunt. Backing away, Yanu begs for a chance to clear things up, realizing Wutang will literally hunt her forever now. Two randoms appear, asking how she recognizes him. Even with a diet, nobody gets this incredibly handsome, naturally. Bro definitely bought a new face. Then the teacher walks in, telling everyone to sit down because homeroom is starting. She mentions she is super hyped to hear about their summer break, but then she completely freezes up, asking who the model in the back is. Yanu raises a hand, claiming it is Lin, who clearly touched grass and lost weight. Shocked, the teacher admits he has changed insanely fast. He must have grinded so hard, so she asks if he wants to take a front row seat this semester. Instantly, some girl screams no, arguing that Yanu promised a seat swap today. Another girl claims she grew a ton during break, so she obviously needs to sit in the back now. Yanu knows these simps are just trying to steal her spot near him and refuses to yield. The teacher, telling everyone to chill out, announces the first person moving seats is actually Yanu. Two girls ruthlessly drag her away. Our guy's best friend desperately begs to keep her desk. Another dude asks Sixuan if Lin got surgery. How'd he get so goated looking? Our boy just shrugs, says it was the only way. The teacher announces that all the odd seat numbers are staying exactly put. Even numbers swap with their neighbors, meaning Li Jiang is officially sitting right next to Lin Mo. Another girl totally freaks out. Is Jiang seriously sitting with the main guy? Jiang claims it is totally fine, mostly because she refuses to let Yanhu hog him all to herself. Glancing at his new desk buddy, our guy notices the dude is a bit chubby and super quiet. Perfect. No one to annoy him. Meanwhile, Yanhu is up front, literally crying over losing her goated seat. Lin Mo just stands up, and instantly a whole squad of girls starts totally simping over him, whining about how completely exhausted they would be climbing that mountain every single day. Another one begs him to drop some skincare routine advice for her own brother. Yanhu thinks these girls are totally fake back when Lin Mo was heavy. Nobody even looked his way. She convinces herself that unlike these posers, she was never actually mean to him initially. Lin Mo just tells them to touch grass, move. The girls immediately step aside. One girl whispers that his icy attitude just makes him look even more sick. Seeing Zixuan absolutely stressing out, she points out he is just incredibly jealous. Tough luck for him though, because they are all completely hyped for Lin Mo now. Later on, a girl in the cafeteria excitedly waves right at our guy, offering him her spot since she is dipping out, but Lin Mo completely rejects the offer, thinking to himself that hanging around these random mortals might honestly be a hazard. He knows the vibe of those women is totally deceitful and who can blame him. Meanwhile, Yanhu still questions if that is really him. Fu Yin asks if she regrets dumping him now that he had a massive glow-up. Yanhu defensively shoots back that she is absolutely not that superficial. Another girl slides in, saying she totally wants to date Lin Mo, asking Yanhu for a wingman favor, claiming she literally does not care if he got plastic surgery. She claims she always vibed with his personality. Lies. Yanhu immediately calls her a huge hypocrite. Hearing this, the girl thinks the real hypocrisy is assuming he had surgery. Honestly, if she could snag a guy with Lin Mo's insane looks, she wouldn't care if it was fake, deciding she will just go after him solo. Meanwhile, Lin Mo is strolling through campus. Then Miyabi suddenly pulls up, saying she came to apologize for literally everything, explaining that the whole situation was just too fast and she really doesn't want to get married. Apology accepted. Lin Mo just walks away. She begs him to wait, so he pauses and asks if she has anything else. She swears she feels terrible about what she said, but Lin Mo just keeps walking. Yanhu watches this, wondering why he is acting so cold delusionally, thinking she caused his edgy phase. Heading outside, Lin Mo is really hoping the rooftop is completely empty today. Walking up, he encounters the girl whose ribs he literally shattered. He immediately wonders, is she trying to hijack his goated rooftop spot again? Glancing over her shoulder, the girl realizes Lin Mo has been trailing her for a minute. She thinks this dude looks familiar, but the guy she remembers was way more handsome. Lin Mo just casually blows right past her, and she breathes a sigh of relief, dodging awkward conversation. But then she realizes he is heading to the roof too and catches up to him. Seeing him speed running those stairs, she totally blitzes past him to take the lead. Seeing her sprinting, he figures she is absolutely trying to steal his chill spot, questioning how a mere mortal dares to challenge him. Oh, it is officially on. Their eyes lock, both instantly reading the room. Game on. They both start sprinting, back to their spots. She finds our guy completely obnoxious. Zero gentleman vibes whatsoever. Seriously, how in the world is he zooming away that incredibly fast? She says she totally wanted to give him a head start, but losing? That would be a massive L for women everywhere. Meanwhile, another girl watches this clown show. Cut to them. She demands why Lin Mo ran. He fires the exact same question back. Then she gets super salty he didn't even chase her. Nope, he flat out refuses. Triggered, she violently snaps at him to watch his tone. A toxic dude like him needs to touch grass. He will literally die single. Lin Mo scoffs. Goated emperors never get married. Being top-tier royalty from a crazy lineage, he casually claps back she is definitely no angel herself. So much wild beef over a simple rooftop spot right as they hit the door. They completely block the doorway. Suddenly, it is an all-out brawl for first place. Lin realizes he literally has to use pure brute force just to clear out his path, which somehow ends with him grabbing her chest. She is completely freaking out. Our guy is super embarrassed too, definitely processing that wild feeling fast. He hits the roof first and straight up claims the whole spot as his personal turf. This girl is totally shook, demanding to know how he dared and who he actually thinks she is. She keeps wilding out because he literally just touched her. Our boy rolls up and deadass slaps this poor girl, claiming she totally touched him first. He totally forgot dudes in this bizarre world are super fragile and gotta just chill. The girl straight up calls him completely shameless. Lin Mo just whips out his phone. He warns her to bounce before he calls the cops. The girl snaps back, saying she is already totally triggered. He casually pulls out his phone to record her, daring her to repeat that exact threat. But then it suddenly clicks for her in this crazy upside-down world. Women who attack guys get absolutely canceled. If she actually got caught swinging at him, she would get expelled on the spot. She gets it. He is totally gaming the system. If he snitched to the teachers right now, everyone would believe his story over hers in a heartbeat. She backs off, dropping a classic salty line about winning the next round, muttering that dealing with guys in this timeline is way too complicated. Lin Mo is honestly just hyped to dodge the drama. He brushes off the annoying girl, suddenly remembering a major news drop from this morning. Grabbing his phone, the actual headline catches him completely off guard. An article reports some bizarre virus wiping out a massive flock of chickens nearby. Just empty husks, completely dried out to the bone. Staring at the photos, Lin Mo recognizes that exact damage. His old demon rival had a wicked sword that literally drained targets down to the marrow. But during their epic final showdown, that weapon straight up exploded. To protect him, his own blade shattered right after, dropping him into this new reality. Now he questions if that demon actually died, especially since his cultivation path was totally righteous. Meanwhile, she was basically speedrunning her power scaling just by slaughtering people left and right. He absolutely has to check this farm out in person. Fast forward to sunset. As he heads out, those schoolgirls are still acting like obsessed simps. Yanin pulls up, offering to tag along to Yutang's place, but our guy shuts that down fast. No cap, the girl insists on going anyway. She warns him that Yutang and her sister are bad news. Yuner drops some heavy lore about a guy getting totally played by his classmates and meeting a seriously tragic end. But Lin Mo is absolutely not vibing with that place, telling Yuner she needs to back off. She just sighs, telling him he is reading things all wrong. Walking in, she drops a bombshell asking if he is seriously ghosting Yutang. Lin brushes it off, saying he has way bigger fish to fry. Yuner calls him out. Didn't he know she spent all summer tracking him down? But our guy just deflects, saying they can unpack that later. She tells him to chill out, promising she'd clear the air with Yutang first thing tomorrow. Figuring if she plays wingman, Lin might actually owe her a massive solid. Cut to Lin Mo in a car, realizing this farm is way out in the boonies. If that demon is hiding there, he'll body her even if it totally wrecks his own soul. Later on, Lin pulls up, figuring he still has a tiny bit of soul left. Time to burn it. He flexes and immediately starts charging up some low-key wild magic. Locking onto a house, he spots demonic chi, and this energy signature is completely off the charts. Looks like that boss actually survived. Catching some movement, he spots someone walking right up. Now watch this closely. Someone yanks off a helmet, claiming they spotted our guy. Plot twist. It is Yutang asking what he's doing out in the absolute sticks. Lin is totally baffled, trying to figure out how she got here, because this ain't no coincidence. Meeting in the literal middle of nowhere, she claims she just ordered an Uber home. But halfway through the ride, she realized the driver was totally leaving the city, so she just bailed. Visibly annoyed, she snaps, does he still think he's that overweight loser from before? Now that he's got that goated glow-up, he'll attract way too many thirsty fangirls. She points out that attractive dudes are literally prime targets for sketchy human trafficking. She scolds him, saying he better learn to drop a text when he's walking into danger. Shoving her helmet into his hands, she announces she is straight up dialing 911. She checks to see if he memorized that suspect license plate, but Lin just shakes his head no. She brushes it off, saying she needs to send a few texts and will be right back. Lin is kind of shook. Yutang is completely human, yet somehow she tracked this demonic energy. Then she pivots right back, complaining that her recent weight loss is causing her major drama. Snatching her helmet back, she slides it on, claiming she really doesn't want to get dragged into any mess. But she's secretly blushing, realizing Lin is way more handsome than those edgy biker boys on TikTok. Lin just stares, wondering if that is some legit detective gear. She's still reeling over his crazy glow-up, questioning why she even had that dumb thought. She brags about her own fully customized helmet, and if it breaks, she'll just toss it to the mean girls, complaining that the thing only gives her a headache anyway. Watching where she stomps off to, he realizes she is walking straight into that demonic aura. Actually stressing for a second, he decides he better go check on her. Back to Yutang, she is totally trespassing somewhere she shouldn't be. An old woman spots her, asking who on earth she is trying to find. Yutang casually whips out a gun, telling the grandma she has some serious guts for not running away. Panicking, the woman begs her not to play pranks, screaming that pointing a piece is totally illegal. Yutang doesn't flinch, asking if she knows the demon cultivator laws. But the old lady swears she's just a simple chicken farmer. While sliding a nasty dagger from her sleeve, Yutang straight up fires her weapon. Waving her arms wildly, the lady begs for her life. Yutang calls her out. She's a decent actress, sure, but she needs to try harder to actually fool her. She casts a sick spell, morphing her weapon into a glowing sword. Still, the woman keeps crying that she is no demon cultivator. She swears she had zero involvement with that whole incident. Yutang drops facts right now. She only refines chickens, but fast forward a bit and she might start refining actual people. Her cultivation time is super short, but she is already way better than a monk. The woman suddenly smirks, asking how she noticed, claiming she would level up like crazy if she refined her. Yutang calls that pretty encouraging, rushing straight at the demon. She yells the outcome won't change, violently plunging her sword right into the monster's chest. Watching from the back, Lin Mo senses that wild energy coming off that blade, total demonic sword vibes. Yutang looks completely shook because her strike literally did zero damage. She realizes this energy hits way differently than any standard demon cultivator she has fought before. She wonders what this thing actually is. In a flash, the monster lunges at Yutang. She barely dodges the hit instantly, knowing one clean shot from that would absolutely game over her. The creature charges up its magic again, wrapping its fist in dark energy. Yutang frantically pulls out a piece of paper, a spiritual talisman, throwing it straight at the monster, completely useless. The demon brushes it off and attacks the girl. She gets violently launched into the wall, coughing up blood. She honestly cannot believe she just took a fat L. Right on cue, our guy steps up to protect the girl. She yells at him, what is he even saying? He needs to touch grass and run. Lin tells her to watch her tone. Yutang just screams at him to bounce immediately. The young man casually triggers a skill, and the demon completely freezes. Yutang is totally hyped and asks why it suddenly stopped. Lin just shrugs it off, no big deal. He is simply built different. Trying to escape, the demon faceplants hard into the dirt. Right over the monster, a massive aura explodes around Lin. Yutang mentions the crazy pressure is literally choking her breath away. She wonders who Lin actually is. Meanwhile, somewhere else entirely over in Lubei City, an old guy preaches that Tao is exactly what birthed heaven and earth, wrapping up the entire universe. Suddenly, he looks completely shook. Now ask yourself, why is the sacred bell ringing? It should only sound off for a totally goated, world-changing event. As the master drops to his knees, his followers freak out, asking if he is okay. The man whispers the father of Tao just reincarnated. Back over to our main guy, he casually asks where that demon went, but the monster is already drained of its spirit, revealing it was nothing but a tiny sword fragment. Still, whatever. Firing up a sick new skill, I just straight up absorbs its spirit. He figures it might be bait from the actual demon to track his location, but hey, free EXP for cultivation. Once the demonic taint is completely scrubbed away, the absolute only thing left on his to-do list is handling that wild woman. Standing right behind him, Yutang blushes, calling him crazy handsome. Using some quick magic, Lin totally wipes her memory of this whole insane fight. Yutang instantly passes out. Checking her over, Lin realizes her spiritual root is god-tier quality. That kind of stat is absolutely cracked even back in his home world. This proves there has to be an epic spot to grind and cultivate here. Otherwise, hitting a level like that would be pure fiction. Suddenly, Lin clutches his chest in serious pain. He guesses he probably just overloaded his residual soul way too hard. Deciding it is time to bounce, he wanders off and completely randomly bumps into two girls. They start whispering about how fine he is, plotting to take him along. They try dragging him somewhere nice, but Lin warns them to let him go, or they will regret it. The girl just laughs off his tough guy act, telling him to be a little more gentle. Super annoyed, our guy realizes his damaged soul is totally nerfing his actual godlike strength right now. The woman grabs his face, demanding that he just obey her. Meanwhile, Yutang rolls up right behind them, telling these two to get out of her way. She throws a nasty punch that the woman barely dodges, while the second girl tries attacking Yutang. But Yutang dodges effortlessly and counters with an insanely fast kick straight to the other girl. She literally knocks them both out cold, then walks up to Lin, asking why he did not fight back. She lectures him that against people like that, he should strike their weak points with everything he has. When the guy questions what the actual vital point even is, Yutang tells him it is the chest. She asks if he seriously has zero clue how to defend himself. Walking away, the girl says she is going to drag this young man over to her house. When he tries taking his helmet off, Yutang asks what he is doing, telling him to simply get on the motorcycle. Hopping onto the bike, these two speed off, heading straight toward Lin's house. Our main guy thinks how in his past life, grabbing a girl without officially dating her was considered completely indecent. But in this modern world, people really do not sweat it at all. Still, this vehicle goes crazy fast. He mentions that using his flying sword, he could definitely go way faster. Deep into the night, the two finally arrive at their actual destination. Lin thanks her for the lift and asks how much cash he owes her, while the girl questions what he is even saying. Calling him fat, she points out, Lin is literally shaking right now. He begs her to drop that nickname immediately. Wu-Tang claps back. She reminds him he used to literally not care about that title. Mid-conversation, the girl suddenly gets a massive reality check. She remembers that the main guy totally ghosted her again and left her hanging, but Lin defends himself. His folks always taught him to head straight home after school. Walking around solo is sketchy. Plus, he already waited for her. Tang, though, claims she had a legit emergency. Right on cue, her phone blows up. Answering it, Wu-Tang asks if the job is done. She confirms their target is packing some insanely evil chi. Hopping onto her bike, she announces she has real business to handle. Mid-ride, the girl completely slams the brakes at a random street corner. Lin's shampoo scent is seriously messing with her head. Meanwhile, our boy knows he must heal. Zixuan hits his line, demanding to know if Lin is beefing with Wu-Tang again. Yanui chimes in, saying the dude has zero filter and was basically just trying to point out Wu-Tang was stressed out. Lin just tunes them out and keeps walking, straight back to his place. Safely inside his room, he crashes by the door, figuring that spamming his powers like this is going to totally wreck his cultivation foundation. Big win. Though he scored a 6-sword fragment for leveling up. Soon after, a knock hits his door. Yanui slides up, saying she really needs a word. Seeing she ditched Zixuan, he figures she wants some totally private one-on-one time. Get this, Yanui drops a bomb. It is not about looks. The more time she hangs with her cousin, the more she realizes she's completely falling for Lin. So she actually tries apologizing for all the toxic stuff she pulled. She even brings up his grandma to force a marriage. But before she yaps anymore, Lin straight up slams the door. She starts begging him to believe her hype, still pushing for that wedding. But Lin is an emperor now. Bro is not downgrading. He grinds to this level, thinking he totally maxed out his stats. Turns out his spiritual formation still has a crazy long way to go. He starts meditating, basically just treating it like some hardcore mental resilience training. Next day at school, some random girl tries to invite Lin Mo to lunch. Bro completely ignores her, leaving her to just admit his glow-up is insane. But his personality? Absolute ice. Still, he keeps getting ridiculously better looking every day. He is straight up looking like a movie star. Meanwhile, Yanwei eats with her squad. She glances over and spots this girl desperately trying to get him to her table. Without missing a beat, he rejects her cold. Fuin jokes, what is the point of being handsome but lonely? Another dude complains about asking for his weight loss routine, only to get completely ghosted. Watching this drama unfold, Yanwei gets super anxious. She jumps from her seat. She announces she will invite him over, using the excuse that they share the same class. Zixuan gets instantly triggered. He demands to know why, knowing he totally hates the guy. Yanwei awkwardly tells Zixuan to back off, worried Lin Mo might see them arguing, and get the totally wrong idea. Zixuan loses it, shouting he has zero respect left. He drops an ultimatum if she fetches Lin Mo, she is banned from their squad. But Yanwei is simping way too hard. She truly believes having Lin Mo around would be an absolute win. Meanwhile, an entire mob of girls is completely swarming him. He just wonders why they refuse to touch grass and leave him alone. Suddenly, Wu-Tang yells out, bossing the protagonist around and ordering him to her table. The guys watching this mess instantly assume Wu-Tang is crushing hard on Lin. Yanwei panics, thinking Wu-Tang is literally the worst person to steal his attention right now. Lin Mo, he's absolutely mind-blown that this girl is still calling him fat. Then he glances over and spots the girl from earlier. He immediately speed walks away, realizing there is a massive chance she is trying to snipe his goated chill spot. As he dips out fast, Wu-Tang notices him rushing off like a total maniac. Her friend talks trash, saying Lin got way too arrogant just because of his sick glow-up. Like, who does this NPC think he is? Furious, Wu-Tang fires off an angry text, threatening to completely end him after class. Cut back to Lin, finally hitting the terrace. But the Empress is already camping his spot, smugly telling him to bounce since she got there first. Refusing to take the L, he brings up how he already won their race earlier, meaning that territory is officially his. She laughs it off, claiming she totally let him win out of pity, asking if he seriously thought she could actually lose. So he challenges her to head downstairs, proposing they run it back with another race to settle this beef forever. The Empress gets annoyed, roasting him for literally only knowing how to run away. She asks if he has any other skills in life, because if he keeps it up, he is getting 0 maidens. Lin Mo just shrugs, acting completely unfazed by the brutal insult, confidently claiming she can pick any game, and he will absolutely wipe the floor with her. A super sly smile creeps onto her face. Oh, she's definitely cooking up a sick plan. Grabbing game pieces, she locks in her choice, seeing what she is actually holding. Lin wonders if this is exactly what he thought. The Empress smirks right at him, asking if he even knows how to play. If he wins, he gets the terrace and literally any wish he wants. Dropping to the floor, he casually mentions there is no way he could fulfill her wishes, even if he tried. But she is insanely hyped, knowing she spent thousands of years grinding this exact game to a godlike tier. But little does she know what is actually coming. Our boy Lin Mo had spent years grinding this exact game, literally goated in his past life. Getting ready to start, the two of them just lock eyes. Mid-match, these two are sweating it out, totally locked in. Still not winning, Lin Mo seriously questions if this girl is a reincarnated pro gamer or something. Time flies. They keep playing until literal sunset. The Empress scopes the board. Things look pretty sketchy, and one slip-up means a complete loss. Lin Mo tells her straight up just rage quit if you are stuck. But she claps right back. Classes are officially done, so he should take his little participation trophy and just go touch grass. Right on cue, his cell phone starts blasting. Bro refuses to back down. He is only leaving this room with an epic win. Meanwhile, the girl is absolutely losing her mind over that ringing. She snaps a quick picture of the board. They can finish this sick match tomorrow. But getting up is a mistake. Her leg goes completely dead from sitting there grinding, and she faceplants straight onto our boy. Lin Mo actually finds it pretty cozy. The Empress, instantly flushed red and totally mortified. She starts freaking out. Lin Mo just facepalms hard, telling her to keep those magical spheres away next time, or he is calling her a creep. In her head, she is seething. That is the second time he has smacked her. Once she gets her mana back, he is absolutely cooked. Tonight, she is going to binge-read tactics and secure that victory. Outside the gates, Lin Mo finally answers his phone. It is Yu Tang on the line. She is beyond furious, yelling about his location and demanding he get to the front gate immediately. He knows Yu Tang spends literally all her class time just playing video games. But here is the wild part. Her cultivation level is totally hacked. Today, he finds out why. Pulling up near the gate, Yu Tang grills him on why he stayed late after ditching every single class. He casually says he was just taking a nap, leaving her totally stunned. She tells him straight up she came to pick him up for a serious game rematch. Tossing him a heavy helmet, she orders him on the bike. Soon enough, they pull up to Yu Tang's place. Lin Mo is low-key shook by how massive this crib is. Walking inside, she hits him with a strict rule. Hands off her stuff. Looking around, Lin Mo realizes it is literally just a gamer cave. Zero cultivation gear anywhere in sight. Yu Tang smirks and asks if he feels nervous hanging out here. A girl brings him to her giant empty house, and he did not even question it. Lin Mo just deadpans, "Are you plotting something right now?" She mocks him right back, saying that sounds like a vibe. Since he had his massive glow-up and lost weight, she might just go for it. Zero hesitation. He just jabs her right in the stomach, tells her to back off. Seeing her crumple, Lin Mo is genuinely hyped. He had no clue his martial arts were this goated, dropping a high-tier cultivator in literal seconds. Insane, right? Groaning, Yu Tang claims she was just trolling. Lin Mo is definitely not amused. Super annoyed, the woman declares they are grinding over 300 rounds, planning to utterly wreck him and make him pay for that sucker punch. Fast forward a bit, Lin Mo sweeps her first round, then snags 2 more effortless wins. Total domination. He completely steamrolls her without dropping a single match. Yu Tang has her head totally buried, finally realizing she is getting absolutely stomped, 47-0. Lin Mo stands up, telling her he has to bounce. But low-key, he slips something under her desk. Yu Tang begs for just one more match, offering to let him crash, but our guy shoots that down. They can run it back another day. She offers a ride, but Lin Mo insists on just grabbing a cab. Meanwhile, that sketchy little item our boy planted under her desk drops to the floor. Suddenly, it completely comes to life, moving on its own. Meanwhile, somewhere else, Yanhui is chilling in her bedroom, stressing hard over Lin Mo skipping classes. She seriously wonders where the guy went. Suddenly, her phone rings, and someone tells her to check the group chat, because some absolutely wild drama just dropped. Scrolling through her notifications, she spots a picture of Lin Mo hanging with Yu Tang. Completely triggered, the girl just starts trashing her desk. The absolute nerve. How dare that pick-me take her Lin Mo home? She sincerely hopes that woman gets into a fatal motorcycle crash. But obviously, cursing her out does nothing. Revenge time. A glowing purple crystal asks if she wants payback. Looking around her room, she demands to know who said that, yelling at them to show up. Crystal says its identity doesn't even matter. Then, a super creepy face pops out, claiming it can do literally whatever she wants. Yanhui stares, asking if this ugly monster is some witch from a fantasy novel. Secondhand embarrassed, the creature thinks this woman literally has 0 brain cells. It snaps back, claiming it is the goated divine sword of the entire immortal world. It got shattered, but if she helps it finally bounce back, it promises to make her immortal. Deal. Without even hesitating, Yan Hui instantly accepts, begging it to help her achieve immortality. Right then, this weird creature starts to cast some kind of spell on her. A glowing purple crystal flashes onto Yan Hui's forehead, and the monster orders her to open her mind, letting it fully merge into her body. She asks why she feels zero power. So, the spirit asks what she actually wants. Out of nowhere, she asks to learn hypnosis. The monster just laughs, saying there are countless skills just like that. In her twisted mind, Yan Hui figures with that sick ability, Lin Mo will be completely hers. Now check this out. Our boy is chilling in a cab, thinking he can't just spam his powers recklessly. Plus, Utang needs to spill her secrets. Real fast. Hand seal activated. Back at Utang's place, that little spy doll gets the signal. Spying on the girl, Lin Mo sees her gaming hard, wondering if Utang is basically a fake cultivator, confused how she reached that insane level. Raging at her screen, Utang can't believe she lost to some stinky fat noob, Lin Mo. He gets super salty, hearing that trash talk, swearing he is going to utterly crush her in every single game. Game over. Then Utang suddenly remembers an in-real-life errand. Watching her leave, her setup, Lin Mo wonders where she is heading. In her room, Utang starts changing her fit, throwing on a suit. Perfect fit. She says this works. Opening a hidden closet, it is packed with sick combat weapons. Our protagonist realizes that even if these were low-tier trash, they are still crazy hard to find in this world. Making a break for it, the doll jumps straight onto her clothes, hyped that he will finally expose all her secrets. A bit later, Utang rolls up to a building, randomly thinking she needs to find out what shampoo Lin Mo uses because it smells goated. Inside the venue, she sneaks up to a door. Cheers erupt. Someone announces they should raise their glasses to toast the newlyweds. Right in that spot, a fancy wedding is in full swing, and a woman mentions the bride is about to give a bang. Grabbing the mic, the woman thanks the crowd for pulling up despite their crazy schedules. Meanwhile, Utang just chills in her seat. She figures she only has to wait this out. Pretty soon, the announcer makes it official. The wedding between Lenu and Shuku is totally wrapped. Time to get this party started. Back to our happy newlyweds. His wifey checks in to see if he feels drained, but he tells her to chill. He just needs a quick outfit swap and a drink. Right mid-chat, someone rolls up on the lovebirds. Yep, it is Utang blocking their path. Recognizing her immediately, the groom starts fully freaking out. The bride asks if everything is cool. Utang just smirks. Your little wish got granted, she says. So now it is time to bounce. Mid-transformation, the groom snaps. Did she really think it was that easy? Boom, get ready, the dude shifts into a full werewolf. Just as he lunges, Utang claps back with a talisman. She leaps out of the way, draws her blade, and strikes the wolf from above. One single slash drops him to the floor, clutching his bleeding neck. She thanks the girl for playing along. Seconds later, his head straight up rolls off. Panicking hard, the bride scrambles to save him. Internally, he sends an apology to her. Knowing they are done for good, he admits this werewolf form as a totally goofy death. Reverting back to human, his wife dives into his arms, sobbing for him to hold on. Screaming for an ambulance right now. Absolutely raging, the bride swears she's going to end Utang. Utang just shakes her head. You had no clue your husband was actually a master at draining life force from women and turning them into slaves. She is just working. Strictly business. She slaps down a talisman to wipe their memories of this entire crazy scene. The bride instantly passes out. Utang pulls out her phone. Job is completely done, she says. Time for the cleanup crew to handle the rest. Meanwhile, back to that little doll. Dropped when the bride rushed her man. Lin Mo notices exactly what this item is. A legit shape-shifting fox that could be totally goated. You know Lin Mo wants that. Figuring he needs a minion, he fires up a straight-up soul reincarnation spell right there. A sick golden aura drifts from his paper doll straight over to the fallen fox. The dead guy gets his soul ripped right out. It slowly floats toward the paper doll. The little folded hands welcome the glowing spirit right inside. Instantly, the tiny object completely morphs into a miniature dude rocking long silver hair. This tiny guy starts sprinting hard. 20 long minutes of running later, he finally reaches the open hand of the person, just waiting for him. Yep, our main boy Lin Mo, chilling outside the whole time. The soul figures he is done for good, but at least he got super lucky, landing that sweet revenge. Still, he hates leaving his girl. Suddenly, a deep voice calls, drops his real name Chen Yu, and asks if this fox actually wants to tap out, or maybe keep living. Opening his eyes in the pitch-black void, the dude confesses he is definitely not ready for a permanent game over right now. He has unfinished business with Z Linu. Whatever the insane cost, he really wants to survive. Lin Mo makes the ultimate offer, a shiny new life, but in exchange, the fox must serve him faithfully for 10 years. The little guy pops his glowing purple eyes open, looking totally adorable now as a chibi fox boy with long gray hair. He glances around at the wild ritual setup, spotting our quiet protagonist towering over him. Shuku is stunned. This magic is literally off the charts. He wonders if this crazy young guy really pulled off the summon. Looking up, he finally realizes exactly who is standing right there. He is hands down the most overpowered guy he has ever met. The little dude literally ends up dropping to his knees mid-ritual. He drops his name as Chenu and swears he is completely ready to serve his new master, hyped beyond belief for this sick chance to take his orders. Lin Mo just wants him to spill all the tea on how cultivation works around here. The fox is totally down and asks where he should even begin. Our boy casually replies that he wants the inside scoop on the cultivation methods. His tiny apprentice explains that thanks to the absolute trash energy levels here, cultivators have to hop into secret realms, but they are totally limited because everything is gatekept by powerful clans and old money families. He doubles down that some random normie cultivator would have zero chance of joining a sect without insane connections. Basically, everyone is scooped up by these clans only to be used as literal batteries and mostly trash for profit-free cultivation. Our guy realizes this whole setup is basically straight-up villain behavior, which the little dude confirms. He says it totally makes sense because of the messed-up energy drought. So obviously, the normal cultivator scene has always hunted down anyone using these shady hacks. Lin Mo asks if they are anything like the cultivator Xia Yutang. Smirking a bit, the fox agrees and then adds that this girl is not just crazy-goated, but she is also from the Xia family, basically top 3, royalty. Then our boy asks if there is a legit immortal realm out there, too, which he honestly admits he has zero clue. Suddenly, the little dude yells out and begs to visit his girl during his 10-year contract, to which our hero agrees but orders him to stay hidden and never expose himself. Proud, he never thought he would score such a chill boss, and figures that it is actually super easy to vibe with immortals. But cut to the next day, he gets humbled while stuck inside a backpack. He realizes his almighty master is actually someone way off script, an ordinary high school kid touching grass. But then he assumes he has to be the absolute final boss of this school. The fox thinks that our guy is pulling crazy numbers, and all the girls are straight up checking him out. Figuring our hero is the absolute Riz King, he thinks that if he were a girl, he would totally be throwing himself at him too. But being completely clueless, he wonders what our boy is actually scheming, since he cannot go a single minute without thinking about totally unhinged stuff. Pretty soon Lin Mo hits his desk, but he spots something super weird. There are random snacks stashed underneath. Lin Mo wonders if his annoying friend Su Yanu left them there. Suddenly his ex, Tao Yanhui, walks up, saying she remembered his favorite junk food and bought them for him. Lin Mo is completely shook. Then, oh boy, his cousin rolls up, demanding to know what she is doing, looking insanely mad. She claps back that our boy is actually her fiancé, and treating him a little is totally normal, which makes the cousin completely lose his mind. With literal tears in his eyes, he winds up to slap her while screaming she is a total fake. Tao Yanhui catches his wrist with crazy strength and tells him to back off. Our boy is honestly just judging his cousin for completely failing to land a single hit. The girl drops a heavy warning she's only saying this once. She promises to absolutely end him if he keeps bothering our boy. The purple-haired kid is left totally humiliated and crying. He straight up rage quits the room, leaving her alone. She says if anyone else tries testing him, he should just call, and she will slide back to handle it. They are down bad for him. The girls think it is hilarious. She suddenly wants the protagonist, since his glow-up gave him some serious confidence. Soon, lunchtime rolls around, and we cut right to the school cafeteria. A blue-haired girl yells for the blonde, complaining that this chick named Henu is stealing her man, but the president replies that they are totally clueless. She figures Henu can just have the fat guy anyway, since she could not care less. But watch closely, a familiar vibe catches her eye. It is Lin Mo's ex showing up with this super toxic, smug look on her face. She actually shouts out Lin Mo's name, our main guy, straight up asking him to eat with her. The blue-haired friend thinks this is pure bait, so she tells Utaha to just ignore the drama. But the blonde claps back with absolute zero chill, saying if Lin Mo annoys her, she will literally beat him down. Instant anger hits our hero's face, so he dips out of there with his ex, who is totally convinced she can win him back. He cannot believe he actually tilted after so many years of cultivation. Dude realizes he still needs to touch grass and learn. Inside his pocket, the little fox thinks his master is goated, since even someone like Jiao Wang is raging jealous over him. Furious, the girl demands to know if the guy really complained about her. But the blue-haired girl just says, drop it, because she cannot hit a dude. She decides to completely forget the fat guy and hyperfixates on the girl instead because she is acting way too bold. Lin Mo finally makes it to the school courtyard. The dark-haired girl chomps on a pastry and tells him to step on it. Our boy notices her super aggressive energy and figures she must still be incredibly salty about yesterday. He takes a seat and finally makes his opening play in the game. She knew Lin Mo would try to make this totally sweaty for her, but honestly, she already cooked up a counterstrat way before they even started. High-key impressed, he admits she is actually cracked at this game, but out of nowhere, his stomach drops a loud, hungry growl. Holding his bag, he just stares at her with a press-lid, completely blank expression. Then he cracks it open, showing off a packed lunchbox. He just snaps his chopsticks apart to dig in. His ex figures this is some kind of weird flex of respect, stopping the game just to eat. But our guy brushes it off, saying, "Hey, it is lunchtime." She thinks if he keeps binging like this, he is going to be totally out of shape again. Then she casually brings up the fat dude who used to hang on the terrace. Lin Mo claims he has never seen anyone fitting that description. Super tilted. She admits just thinking about that guy makes her sides literally hurt because he was so heavy, but her face suddenly drops into pure shock when she checks her phone. Get ready for this, someone just leaked a picture of him straight into the girls' group chat, making her finally realize that Lin Mo was actually the exact same fat dude from before. Eyes going completely red, she says she asked him earlier, flashing his own picture, asking if he seriously does not know the guy on the screen. With zero shame at all, the protagonist swears he has never seen anyone that large. The girl gets so triggered, calling Lin Mo an absolutely trash liar, but she gets that he really does not want to talk about his past flop era. So she tells him to chill because she was not bringing it up to be toxic. Then she starts digging through her bag, pulling out his freshly washed blazer, though she admits it might not fit his new build considering how much he leveled up his physique. His eyes light up, genuinely stunned by this. Waving his hand, he snatches up the clothing, absolutely shook. The girl quickly bounces up on her feet, calling the whole thing a draw and admitting his game is completely goated. Lin Mo just shrugs, bragging that barely anyone matches his level. But she actually managed to surprise him. Game on. She declares that their little beef is officially squashed forever. That unexpected ending leaves our boy completely speechless. Not backing down, he calls out to her they need to run a best-of-3 to crown a real winner. Flashing a bright smile, she happily accepts. Then she drops her name, She. Lin Mo gets totally caught off guard at first, but then he starts putting the pieces together. His tiny spirit fox suddenly pops right out of the bag in pure shock. He is absolutely blown away that his master has unlimited riz, making women practically throw themselves at him. But Lin Mo interrupts him. He has a serious question. One question: where exactly does the loot for his demonic cultivation actually come from? The little dude promptly fires back every single item drops from the Dark Gate network. The Shadow Clan fiercely protects those drops. This faction acts as the main security detail for demonic cultivators and other elite family members. But they will totally sell out to the good guys too, assuming they drop enough cash. Lin Mo looks stunned, asking how this tiny fox managed to stack up those funds. The little dude casually explains he speedran a few assassination quests, but he adds that the fastest money glitch in real life is bagging a wealthy sugar mommy. He figures since his master refuses to touch grass or get a real job, a rich girl is his safest bet. Not today. He instantly snatches the fox mid-air. He holds tight while the fox aggressively squirms, warning him to keep those wild takes quiet. Lin Mo then shoves him straight back down into his pocket. He tells the spirit that once they get back to home base, he is checking out the loot. Specifically, he wants to figure out crafting spiritual amulets. Meanwhile, night finally hits the campus, leaving the school completely dead after hours. The blonde shouts out his old chubby nickname, but our hero easily dodges her. This gets Zhao Yutang totally heated, snapping at him to stop acting completely blind. She goes off about how his toxic ex-girlfriend totally provoked her today, trying to completely embarrass her. Hold on. He knew is definitely not his ex. The girl literally could not care less, reminding him she has a real reputation to protect, so he better cooperate. She suggests they just ditch this place and go for a motorcycle ride together. Staying silent, Lin Mo keeps a blank poker face while thinking it over. Flashing a super mischievous grin, she asks if Lin Mo can even hop on the bike by himself, or does he actually need her to carry him up? Once he caves, they walk to the bike, and she smugly calls him a good boy. But get this, someone is lurking behind a lamppost, aggressively cursing the blonde for stealing her precious Lin Mo. A shadowy voice suddenly whispers, why not just use hypnosis on the guy? But number one claims she wants him to surrender willingly, giving her his body and soul without tricks. Soon enough, they both ditch the school in a desperate rush. Lin Mo notices the crazy speed, telling Yu Tang she is taking things too far. Flashing a mischievous smirk, she calls him totally naive for actually trusting the words of a woman. Leaning into the joke, he boldly asks if she is secretly down bad for him. That leaves her flustered and blushing. Tires squealing, the motorcycle screeches to a sudden stop. Face bright red, she yells back, hasn't she made it painfully obvious that she is not interested in him either? When our boy Lin Mo asks if she is really curving him, Udang fights for her life rejecting him, and he just drops it. He reminds her they are just co-workers, telling her to touch grass and stay away. Udang claps back, claiming she has a whole wait list of dudes dying to date her. And honestly, without their late-night gaming sessions, she wouldn't even give him the time of day. Meanwhile, chilling in his pocket, the little fox thinks his master is absolutely built different. He wonders when Lin Mo sneaked that tiny paper doll onto her, and doing it with basic A4 printer paper, wild. Later on, we spot Lin Mo's place. Now watch closely as he brainstorms about the Dark Gate network. He summons his tiny sidekick, who totally launches himself right onto the computer desk. The fox starts button-mashing the keyboard, swearing he can hack into the dark network. He speedruns the typing, violently slamming the enter key until they finally break in. But the little dude accidentally pulls up a super sus website instead. We are talking spicy rental dates and some very not safe for work reading material. Lin Mo asks if they landed in the wrong spot, but his fox buddy insists. It is totally legit, they just gotta click over to the actual treasure market page. He thinks he unlocked the goated cultivation world, yet even a bottom tier, Immortal Realm, spiritual weapon is treated like absolute god tier loot out here. The must-have items are 1,000-year-old ginseng and pure immortal stones, but those cost over 100 grand. His little bro actually tries pitching a wild side hustle selling his picks to rich sugar mamas. Looking exhausted, Lin Mo asks if he seriously looks broke, and his apprentice gets the hint. So our MC demands the fox's personal stash, but the little guy admits his bank account only holds 30,000 bucks. Snatching the computer mouse, along with the setup, Lin Mo says that budget works just fine. The white-haired spirit then asks if his master is seriously going to craft talismans from scratch. Chen Yu tells him to try a different side hustle. Talismans might sell high, but crafting them is brutal, and their current crafting materials are straight-up trash tier. Our guy says he is only grinding out low-level talismans for quick cash, telling his buddy to chill out and relax. Right after, he walks off, ordering Chen Yu to get back to his training. And the apprentice just sighs, thinking these garbage materials will only spawn complete junk and absolute useless flops. The next day, Lin Mo is rocking a fresh fit to keep himself totally anonymous, complete with a mask and shades. A van driver asks if the package is his, and he hits back with his alias White Fox. He grabs the giant box, and the delivery dude begs for a solid 5-star rating to boost his driver score. Lin Mo admits this delivery was actually crazy fast, so he debates actually dropping a good review. From his pocket, the apprentice warns him the Shadow Clan runs a logistics empire rivaling the top-tier families. Get ready for this. Minutes later, our guy is completely zoned out, staring at 2 blank papers on his desk. The White Fox doubts he is actually hyped to craft these things. Word is, the goated masters from the big families grind for years before their first try, and even then, only 30% survive the process. Lin Mo just sighs, shutting his eyes for a second. Then he starts speedrunning the symbols onto the paper like a pro, quickly calling out that he... Lin Mo finishes the dragon talisman, completely blowing the small fox's mind. The little guy thinks drawing those symbols instantly is straight up impossible, especially crafting 2 at once. The fox literally curses out loud, watching a whole dragon pop out of nowhere. Our boy tells him to chill, these are basically trash-tier talismans anyway. Plus, it super sucks that his spiritual power caps out at making just 2. He openly admits he desperately needs to cop more spiritual stones. Right after, Lin Mo throws these bad boys up for sale, pricing them at $500,000. But he is instantly shook when anonymous bids start skyrocketing right away. His furry sidekick quickly chimes in talismans are high-key bestsellers. Top-tier cultivators and even regular folks absolutely spam them. That makes them totally goated. Suddenly, our guy realizes something sketchy might have gone down with his paper doll. Peeking through the doll's vision, he spots the blonde logging into the dark network too. Staring at something weird with massive bags under her eyes, she complains that tracking a missing kid is totally draining, until she suddenly spots his sick listing for that top-tier talisman. The invisibility effect attached to it looks pretty legit too. She figures the timing is perfect, since she has zero clue about this demon, and staying prepped to keep tabs on him is definitely the smart play. Meanwhile, our boy thinks a spiritual stone would come in clutch. Plus, a missing demon is super sus. He wonders if it might actually be the venerable demon. Now get this fast forward to the next day at school, right during lunch. Our guy Lin Mo heads up the stairs before three random guys block his path. They start flaming him, demanding to know why he changed his look just to pull girls, claiming that deep down, he is still the exact same total loser. Lin Mo just keeps his face completely deadpan, staring straight down at the floor. His ex claims she is loving this weird hypnosis vibe, calling it an insane opportunity for her. Flashing a seriously lethal glare, our boy straight up tells them to move or else. That completely pisses off the guys blocking his way. The bullies scoff, asking if Lin Mo seriously wants to touch grass permanently, and they decide to literally end him right then and there. But before the dude can spit more trash, Lin Mo snatches him with one massive hand. Our boy slams him into the wall with one absolute savage move. The hit is so insanely hard it instantly knocks him cold. Looking totally annoyed, Lin Mo shoots a heavy side eye at the others. He catches the other two goons looking terrified, asking if he actually wants to die. His ex figures this is her big moment to step in and win him back. But suddenly a dark-haired girl cuts her off, yelling at them to stop harassing him. It is the board game partner he met earlier, demanding to know what the heck is happening. The busted, crying bully straight up lies, claiming they just wanted to be friends. But that Lin Mo just shoved him and busted his nose. The girl calls cap on that story immediately, pointing out he could easily be lying through his teeth. Right after, the ex-girlfriend trashes the girl, super salty that she ruined her vibe. The ex then plays dumb, pretending she just got there and asking if he is okay, claiming she heard all the drama and rushed right over. She asks if the new girl handled it, then acts all grateful and thanks her. She adds that she will definitely buy her lunch someday to show proper thanks. Then she completely latches onto Lin Mo. She grabs his hand and begs him to dip, but nope, the black-haired girl intercepts her. Flexing absolute confidence, she calls this behavior completely gross, saying a real woman shouldn't prey on some defenseless dude. Flashing a totally toxic, furious glare, the ex-girlfriend snaps at her to back off and go touch grass. Minding her own business is the best move here. Lin Mo just tells her to drop it so they can finally bounce. Realizing her grip on him is slipping fast, the ex tries to bust out her hypnosis, but that mind trick gets instantly cancelled. Our guy is totally immune. The demon backing her up warns her to cut the magic out for today. He's getting a seriously bad vibe. The black-haired girl mentions she heard this younger chick actually dumped Lin Mo first. She casually strolls right past her, dropping salt in the wound by saying she pities her. The brown-haired girl is left frozen on the spot, shaking with rage. She can only obsess over how totally annoying this interloper is, cursing Lin Mo as a shameless dog for ignoring her commands. Later that afternoon, Lin Mo finally makes it back to his place. He hops on the PC alongside his tiny companion. He points out that a buyer offered 2 spiritual stones plus a fat stack of cash. Whoever this is clearly knows how to hustle. Lin Mo quickly puts together that the crazy offer came from the blonde girl. He wonders if she's repping the Phoenix group, guessing this whole setup might be bait. Lin Mo mentions his little buddy previously warned him that the Phoenix group is out here specifically eliminating demonic cultivators, so they have zero business messing with them. But the tiny fox jumps in, saying, a trap is super extra. The Darkgate network already scrubs out demonic cultivators daily with the Phoenix group's backing. Suddenly, a little pop-up alert pings on his screen. He notices the designated meetup spot is Fangtong Station, a totally basic, random location. Even so, playing it safe, he pulls up fully disguised. His little fox is super confused. Going incognito is honestly overkill, since the platform and the drop-off are both fully encrypted. The next day, after school, Lin Mo totally nails the handoff. He figures that after taking his 200,000 cut in cash, he's left with 700,000 in spiritual stones. Still, trust me, he seriously didn't expect the loot drops here to be this low tier. Our OP protagonist just casually absorbs all the raw materials in one go. Smirking, he figures at least he can snag a bit of his spiritual mana back. He then pulls out 2 fresh talismans he just crafted, instantly summoning a massive goated dragon right out of the paper. Lin Mo tells his tiny sidekick to list both on the Darkgate network. The fox immediately confirms the comment section is already blowing up. People are absolutely hyping up whatever hidden master hooked up these 2 crazy talismans. Lin Mo just shakes his head, thinking this world is honestly so nerfed when it comes to cultivation. It is wild that everyone gets this hyped over a basic level 1 item. Suddenly, his little fox absolutely loses its mind in shock because get this, someone just casually offered 3 million all at once to secure Lin Mo's talisman. But then, the price rockets to 4 million. Cut to a high-tech room where a guy asks if they're completely unhinged. Like, how on earth is a level 1 talisman costing over 3 million? Right on cue, a dude on the mic clarifies that the invisibility talisman they sold earlier was straight up broken, which is exactly why they desperately need to track down the Cut to Yutang, the blonde chick is glued to her crazy expensive computer setup, getting completely and visibly triggered by whatever absolute toxic garbage is suddenly popping up. With one rage click, Yutang casually drops another million on the talisman auction, flexing hard. Lin Mo just chills with arms crossed, watching those bids skyrocket. He slaps a hand over his little sidekick's mouth, forcing everything to stay completely low-key. The hype is real, bids peak at a sick 15 million cash. The chat is blowing up with people trying to slide into the main character's DMs. Everyone wants a meetup. Lin Mo realizes this kind of clout is super risky. Time to go ghost. Every single cultivator on the server is definitely about to hunt him down. Still, our guy is getting a massive payday here, so he decides to check out how the blonde chick is doing with her bidding war. Fast forward a bit, back to Yutang's place. Lin Mo watches. Yutang senses some incredibly heavy demonic aura here, definitely tied to the actual Demon King. Peeking at his screen, Lin Mo catches Yutang running some real-time stalker surveillance. Honestly, our boy feels pretty weirded out by this whole cringe situation. He had zero clue she was actually into this creepy stuff. She completely loses it, seeing absolute cringe on her monitor, violently slamming her desk in rage, ranting about how busted the guy looks, not even a fresh fade could fix him. This absolute train wreck of a dude starts desperately Googling for some basic glow-up hacks. Anything to stop looking so tragic in selfies, he just wants that clean aesthetic. So he is hunting for weird filters, but then his brain goes completely off script. Plastic surgery and facial tweaks cross his mind. But wait, it gets wilder. Bro wants a flat stomach, longer legs, and to completely delete his love handles. Our girl Yutang needs to touch grass. This digital atrocity is literally destroying her soul, openly admitting even the fat dude wasn't this brutally painful to look at. And here is where school lunch gets completely unhinged. Lin Mo completely tunes out the blonde girl's yap session until something catches his eye. His attention is drawn to someone stepping right up the black-haired girl. She casually asks if he is down for a match, but if he wants to dodge, that is fine. She hates free wins anyway. Total silence drops as the young hero stares down at the board game setup, admitting he is feeling pretty nerfed today, and bounces from the scene, claiming he just refuses to take a major loss. Plus, our dude really is not trying to exploit the situation in any weird way. Lin Mo heads straight for the edge of the terrace, climbing up to just chill out. He figures if he wants to unlock that yang power, he needs to build a solid formation. The most busted ones are always demonic. If only our guy had some tea right now, then maybe he could actually pull this crazy strat off. The girl tells him to watch his step and not slip, so he just flashes a smile and walks right back over, humming a tune. But Hansini, secretly watching this whole vibe, gets incredibly salty. Soon enough, our main character gets blocked right at the terrace exit. It is the brown-haired chick, and she is absolutely fuming. Our young hero asks what her problem is. She tries snapping back with an insanely dark, toxic glare plastered on her face, but Hansini steps up, telling her to back the heck off. The younger brunette completely loses it, warning Hansini to keep away from her man. Claiming he belongs to her entirely, Hansini spins right around. She tells the girl to wait and watch her own super painful downfall. Lin Mo watches her walk off, wondering when he became her property. Later that night, we peep his ex-girlfriend's place while she takes a totally stressed-out shower. Yanu admits she totally slept on our main guy's true potential. She regrets not locking him down from day one, but totally figures that this time around he is going to be hers, no cap. Looking unhinged, she decides to hit him with some hypnosis tonight, turning him into her loyal puppet. Her creepy aura floods the entire room, until it stretches across town to Lin Mo's spot, the purple energy creeping up. Bro is just catching sleep, but his energy throws up a massive shield that totally blocks out the bad vibes. His little sidekick wakes up, spotting the mess and wondering who tried to crash their peaceful nap time. Lin Mo quickly clocks it long-range hypnosis. He is honestly shook anyone would try a sneaky move like that on an emperor. Fast forward to the next day, our guy is at school. Yanu steps right in front of him, completely blocking his path forward. She demands he gets dressed up and swings by her crib tonight. Her eyes are screaming toxic energy while she daydreams about kissing him, getting crazy hype for the sun to go down. Then her face goes full psycho mode, assuming her little trick worked on Lin Mo and he is completely brainwashed. Meanwhile, our guy just keeps strolling right along, smirking because he already figured out she was the one spamming those bad vibes. But here is the wild part. He actually already slapped a tracking paper doll onto her back. His mind is fully synced to the creepy little thing smiling back at him. Later on, while chilling in class, something completely random grabs his radar. The paper doll stuck to his toxic ex just randomly went offline. Why did it drop connection? Because Yanu actually noticed the little spy hanging onto her. She instantly torches the thing with purple fire. Her inner demon flames her, calling her pathetic for lacking zero situational awareness. Sweating bullets, a stressed-out Yanu tries to guess who would be sus enough to spy on her. Her demon buddy says it does not matter. She refuses to let anyone ruin her sick plans for after the bell rings. When the afternoon rolls around, our guy heads out brain working overtime, figuring the person who nuked his paper doll might be linked to the venerable demon. But with so many cultivators touching grass out here, he needs to play it cool. Honestly, he might actually have to link up with the Phoenix group. If his math is mathing, the blonde girl should be driving by right about now. Now check this out, the move he is about to pull off. Literal insurance fraud. The blonde completely freaks out when she realizes she just ran him over, slamming the brakes on her motorcycle while our guy takes a hardcore dive onto the pavement. She yells at him for crossing blind. Scooping him up in a panic, she asks if he is good and offers a hospital trip. But with zero emotion, Lin Mo just dusts himself off, leaving her totally lost. Flashing a toxic little grin, Lin Mo admits he learned how to be a menace out here. Meanwhile, the blonde is totally lost on what his deal is, grabbing his arm to pull him back. But our guy Lin Mo drops a bomb. He is heading over to his ex-girlfriend's place tonight. Apparently, she's expecting him for a super special night. Ying is completely shook by this flex, because that is so not his style. Then pure surprise hits her face. Realizing something is seriously off, she tries calling the big guy back, yelling at him to snap out of it, but he just walks past, leaving her absolutely stunned. Ying wonders if the big dude actually got hypnotized. She then throws up a quick hand sign. To break this sick mind control, she traces a glowing star right in the air, smacking her palm against his forehead. That little spark in his eyes, which had totally blanked out earlier, starts creeping back little by little, but then quickly fades again. She realizes her move did nothing, questioning if the caster is actually goated enough to block her. Not playing around, the blonde decides to bust out the Phantom Redemption seal, slamming a heavy magical strike right onto our main guy's forehead. This snaps him right back to normal, a state he was clearly just faking this whole time. Rubbing his face, Lin Mo acts confused, asking what is going on and why he is here. Ying snaps right back that she was about to ask him. She presses him, asking if he somehow actually met up with his crazy ex. He admits he did, but asks why she even cares, since she is busy seeing her fiancé. Totally flustered, Ying says he popped up out of nowhere right in front of her and got clipped by her motorcycle, so he needs to follow her to the hospital now. She wonders how he is acting so chill after getting hit, but Lin Mo flat out refuses, adding that if she feels guilty, she can just pay his medical bills later. Ying grabs his collar, leaving him totally choked up. She then shoves a piece of paper right into his face, telling him she is writing a check now because she refuses to deal with a future lawsuit coming from him later on. She tells him to go blow the cash on whatever he wants, but warns him not to try scamming her later or he is going to seriously regret it. Our boy Lin Mo wonders if scribbling a few thousand zeros will actually be enough to cover the cost of a few hundred spiritual stones. Ying just revs up and speeds off. Buzzing her helmet radio, Ying demands her team send over every single piece of information on Lin Mo's toxic ex-girlfriend, since she is now a prime suspect. The guy on comms confirms. Soon, she pulls up to the house of that girl who used to simp for our hero. Taking her helmet off like a boss, she extends a hand rocking a special ring, instantly summoning her magical sword. She proceeds to unleash dozens of lightning-fast slashes right at the doorknob to force it open. The strikes are so insane that the entire door collapses, leaving just the doorknob floating perfectly in place. She steps right inside the creepy house, spotting a bunch of photos. They definitely do not look like normal family portraits. Instead, they just show two dudes who seem to be her close friends. Ying finally reaches the ex-girlfriend's bedroom, and guys, brace yourselves, this chick is beyond obsessed. Thousands of secret photos of Lin Mo just pinned all over her walls. She even spots handwritten manuals all about our guy and decides to do a little reading. Flipping through the pages out of pure curiosity, almost instantly, her face turns bright red because the contents are completely unhinged. She figures this girl needs to seriously touch grass and gets ready to burn it all down until her earpiece goes off with a brand new problem. Intel reports that Yanyu just vanished, just completely missing, super suspiciously. Based on this wild new intel, Ying realizes her whole setup is sus. She's definitely tied to those missing person cases going around. The squad needs to drop a missing person alert right now. She realizes Yanui is playing 4D chess, coming up with such a big-brain strategy. Super fast, too. Back at Lin's place, the whole crib is completely pitch black. He figures he's seen enough of this mess. It's pretty obvious his crazy ex-girlfriend is totally linked to that venerable demon. The Phoenix group seriously needs to target her. Out of nowhere, a noise makes Lin jump. His cousin is at the door asking if he checked the news. Our boy swings the door open, keeping it pretty chill. The purple-haired dude immediately drops the bomb. Yanui is totally wanted right now. But Lin plays dumb. He tells him to touch grass. He's avoiding her completely. He tries cutting the conversation off, completely slamming the door right in the guy's face. But the dude keeps yapping, begging him to just look at what's trending online. Lin finally checks it. Yanui from the Fangang Institute caught a massive abuse case, attacking some guy. Now she is officially wanted nationwide. He thinks the search squad is actually goated, though they still haven't found her yet. The small white fox thinks this woman is straight up toxic and absolutely delusional for even trying to mess with his master. Lin knows exactly what's up. If that venerable demon wants to leech a guy's yang power, he will set up some crazy, high-level evil magic formation to get it done. Without missing a beat, Lin crouches down and starts digging through a random box. His little fox buddy is totally confused about what he is looking for, until he spots a sudden flash, making the little guy even more lost. He realizes Lin just pulled out some basic, boring wooden boards, nothing special at all. Our boy lets out a heavy sigh. Then he pumps his energy into both boards simultaneously. They literally break apart and snap together, forming exactly what he needs for this job. It turns into a sick, old-school compass made completely of solid wood. The fox is mind blown. His master just speedran crafting an ancient oriental compass out of nowhere. Lin knows the venerable demon's stats are too high. The Phoenix group will totally get clapped searching. That is, unless they use this goated compass to track that dark energy. Lin slams the two boards together, hacking them into an absolute beast of a tracking device. Basically a magic radar. Boom! A huge explosion goes off, making the fox completely shriek. That flimsy artifact gets a major buff, feeling heavy with raw power. After absorbing a low-tier stone, the fox is completely hyped watching this insane upgrade. Right on cue, the wooden spoon acting as the needle starts spinning wildly. His little spirit servant finally realizes Lin is basically operating on God mode right now, turning a piece of scrap wood into an overpowered radar system. Lin tosses the radar to his small fox, and the little dude catches it easily. He asks his master why this random compass is so insanely broken. Lin drops the lore. It pinpoints zones with the absolute highest yin energy in the entire city. Wait for it. Something outside catches his eye, and Lin freezes up completely. He tells the fox to hide right now. The little guy vanishes instantly. Lin stays perfectly still, eyes glued right to the window, until that blonde girl pops up looking super goofy, leaving him low-key baffled. She pulls this super hyped face, leaving him feeling just completely awkward. Phone in hand and sweating bullets, Lin Mo legit considers calling the cops. Wu-Tang just tells him to open the window and keep his hands to himself. She says my bad for earlier, claiming it was totally necessary. Our guy immediately asks what she is even doing, sneaking around here. The girl tells him to stop yapping and asks where he got hurt. He realizes Wu-Tang is definitely acting sus, but luckily, he is not fully healed yet. The scars and bruises are still fresh. He points out a nasty gash on his arm, and flexes another scratch on his leg. Out of nowhere, she yanks up his pant leg way too high, exposing the scrape. Totally flustered and blushing, he demands to know what she is doing. But Wu-Tang insists she is just cleaning it up, or else she is taking the blame for any permanent scars left behind. Plus, she catches herself thinking this former chubby kid legit has the most goated legs she has ever seen. His inner fox spirit starts screaming he offered the arm, but she went straight for the legs. She is straight up creeping on him. Lin Mo quickly shoves his pant leg back down. He says he never expected Wu-Tang to pull up over something so painfully basic. But she actually has a serious question. He is one of the very last people to see Yanui around. She wants to know exactly what she said, he admits. His memory is totally wiped blank after running into her. Wu-Tang hops back onto the window ledge, sighing that this whole trip was completely useless. So she is dipping, though he cannot figure out why she avoids using the actual door. Playing it safe, Lin Mo quickly calls out for her to hold up. He drops a wild offer he can act as live bait if she needs it. Wu-Tang instantly turns bright red, catching a glimpse of something pretty spicy. Namely, our boy's ridiculously well-defined chest peeking right through his loose shirt. She leaps from the balcony, shouting back that she accepts the crazy deal. Lin Mo definitely notices she agreed way too fast. Anyway, fast forward to sunrise at the school. Our guy rolls into his classroom looking absolutely dripped out. The girls swarm him, super stressed because rumors say Yanui is a literal abuser. They are totally freaking out over what she might have done to him. Acting icy as hell, he brushes them off, saying he is fine and to get out of his way. Then another girl bursts in, hyping everyone up to come look. A sick new transfer student just dropped into their class. The entire fan club sprints out, desperate to get the scoop on this fresh meat. Grouping around the new green-haired guy, they quickly ask for his name. He smoothly introduces himself as Shen Lei, saying they can just call him Lei since they are classmates now. Out of nowhere, some flashy blonde hair catches his eye. The girls hype him up. They pull him toward the main entrance, and he totally plays along, plotting his own agenda. Internally, the guy reveals he only transferred here to investigate the creepy Hanano case. Even so, he never expected to run into an absolute 10 until suddenly he freezes. He is utterly shocked to see she has her foot planted on the door. She follows up with a savage kick, literally ripping the door off its hinges. Right after that, she screams at her buddy to stay inside the school grounds. He better not step outside before her. Our green-haired boy is just standing there, mind blown. He starts running the math on her being totally unhinged, floating rib and all. Sun sets on another wild day, and our main guy leaves campus looking fresh, still flexing his usual over-the-top drip. The blonde is waiting outside and totally orders Lin Mo to tag along. They stroll down an empty school hallway, dead, silent. Looks like she dragged him straight to the school infirmary to get some privacy. He claims he is totally healed up, and if she touches his leg again, he will literally restrain her until the polk cops show up. But the girl is completely unbothered, telling our hero to check out a sketchy document. She claims her police relative found a literal diary in her house about taking care of him, which is 100% cap. Even though he already read it, he acts totally shocked to see those absolutely unhinged fetish details inside. Blushing hard, the girl admits her little master plan involves creeping on guys and dragging them back to her place. And yeah, Lin Mo was the target. But our guy calls her a straight-up creep, saying he really should have seen the red flags, so he could actually defend himself against this kind of vibe. The blonde then pivots, saying they searched the whole country for her but found absolute zero trace, not even at her usual hangouts. Our guy casually slips on his glasses, mentioning Jian Hui has been super into creepy places since they were kids, so she is definitely hiding in one. The real reason nobody can find her, she probably used some heavy disguise makeup. He drops all this knowledge while striking a sick pose. The girl just tells her hero to stop acting like an anime detective, but Yutang realizes it totally makes perfect sense. She definitely threw on a crazy disguise to stay off the radar. She knows Jian Hui loves sketchy locations, meaning she probably lured a bunch of dudes there to practice dark arts on them. Wild, right? Yutang then says, that is all the tea for today, so our guy can finally bounce out of here. He drops a sketchy little smirk back at his house, where he looks super chill. He fed her the bait, and next up, Xiao. Yutang will hit the darknet to cop a magic weapon for tracking yin energy. He summons his small fox apprentice, who spawns in instantly. Our guy tells him to list that fake compass he crafted on the Dark Door auction. Naturally, the small fox gets the memo. Odd tier speed. He sets the starting bid at a cool 10,000 cash and posts it live. He lets his master know the listing is officially up for auction now. They just sit back and wait for the bag. Suddenly, he notices the bids are skyrocketing abnormally fast. Like this thing is the most hyped item ever. In literally seconds, that 10,000 cash turns into 5 million at a plate. Surreal pace. Meanwhile, check this out over at Xiao Yutang's house. Our blonde is locked in. She sees the price hit 5 million in the blink of an eye, and it is still climbing nonstop. Flashing a crazy smug smile, she mocks these users for trying to flex their cash, and then declares they are totally broke compared to her. Through his little observation doll, Lin Mo watches Xiao Yutang sweating hard over these bids. It looks like she is absolutely going to win this auction, which means she can finally track down his missing ex-girlfriend. The bid quickly hits a whopping 10 million is literally insane, and the little fox totally gets it. Pulling off this unreal flex in mere seconds is crazy, and she wonders just how many wives actually have that kind of cash. A day later, the blonde meets up with the squad and this old lady rocking a cane. She drops a bomb that the spot with the most goated yin energy is right here. The old lady actually thinks out loud that this is some top-tier loot. Pointing way off in the distance, she spots the sickest yin energy around, meaning it is super rare. Our girl notices that this elite expert got specially invited by the crew to help carry a whole mission, and catching a win from this boss lady is basically impossible. Unsheathing her cane, Granny pulls out a hidden weapon and announces she's going to scout the path ahead, telling the squad to chill there. But as the old lady approaches, a massive green demonic hand just spawns right in her face. A completely massive explosion goes off thanks to a special attack the Granny popped right before getting hit. Our boy, watching this whole mess through his little paper doll, is honestly stressing hard right now. He thinks back about how breaking the formation was supposedly impossible, guessing it might be some wild modern weapon she yanked out of her inventory. He realizes this is absolutely off the charts, this world, admitting it is absolutely sick and something he just never expected. Suddenly, his wall shatters. An incredibly buff woman just busts right in, while literally carrying his cousin. Our hero is legitimately shook, noticing she gives off a super creepy green evil aura. The little fox yells right out to her master, warning him that this total tank also snagged his cousin. Lin Mo nods and tells the fox to just stay put, since he already saw this coming anyway, knowing you just gotta roll with it sometimes. It turns out that Hiyanyu straight up hypnotized them for this kidnapping, but since the Phoenix group is currently throwing down, there is no way his toxic ex would actually show up herself. Watch this closely as the fist flies at his face. He figures there is a catch. This whole setup could just be Hiyanyu setting a trap for the Phoenix group while casually kidnapping him. All he has got to do is let her completely regret this. And luckily, he popped his own aura to tank the hit and stay awake. The buff lady ends up hauling both cousins into a super sketchy white van parked outside. She literally tosses them inside with bags over their heads, acting super rough and violent about it. She peels out, just cruising through town without a single care. Soon enough, she hits a creepy abandoned factory where his crazy ex is definitely camping out. She rips the bag right off his head with a messed up smirk. She acts all shocked to see him, obviously just capping. She asks if he is shook to bump into her in a place like this. Rocking a sly smile, Lin Mo admits he is surprised. He roasts her straight to her face. She gets super triggered by the cocky energy he is throwing around. Tossing our boy against the brick wall, she figures he has got some serious nerve to run his mouth at her. Lin Mo tells her she better back up and touch grass. Unbuttoning her shirt, she claims he is still just acting tough, wondering out loud if Zhao Xiao Yutang or Han Shenyi who finally took his virginity. Suddenly, her demon warns that the blonde smashed through the defense and is speedrunning over here, so Hiyanyu had better hurry up and finish the job, flashing this super toxic and completely wicked smile. She totally agrees, claiming the Emperor is totally waiting for her ultimate flex move. She tells our main guy to sit tight and wait around, promising she will slide back right after they test this Emperor. Our guy is stressed out, thinking the demonic sword or venerable demon might be secretly sliding into her DMs telepathically. Cut to this super creepy dripping dark cell, we finally spot the cousin's setup. Bro is actually sleeping peacefully in this mess. Then he suddenly wakes up totally terrified, pleading to not get totally wrecked. He looks around frantically, begging for his life, trying to dodge a savage fate. We are all wondering where he even is. Meanwhile, we get a shot of this massive crater the old woman blasted open. The whole squad gathers around the crazy damage. The blonde realizes Hiyanyu actually had the 200 IQ to use this trap, turning the entire zone into an insane extreme yin hotspot. Now the crew has to follow wherever the compass leads them next, speedrunning to get there, since the victims might literally be cooked by now. Out of nowhere, a green demon pulls up laughing, asking where the women are running. Boom, a massive explosion instantly yeets everyone backward. Laughing like a psycho, this flaming demon announces everyone is getting wiped out for free. Back in the summoning forest, check this out. A random deer is just chilling there. Right in this gorgeous nature spot, the deer senses danger and gets visibly spooked. A sick blast of pure green energy completely shatters the earth. Thick smoke rolls out, packing an absolutely goated and terrifying pressure. The demon spawns a whole arsenal of blades, claiming nobody is dodging his rage. He hard focuses his attacks on the blonde, screaming for her to drop dead, laughing his head off as the hits connect, but the old woman tanks it for the girl. The elder steps up, claiming she will 1v1 the demon while they evacuate Miss Jia, because Miss Jia is way too high tier to lose to some random mob. This flaming rage monster asks if she seriously thinks she can solo him. He doubles down that nobody survives this, spamming hand seals with his dozen arms. Screaming that he is sending them all to the lobby, he locks in a deadly formation. The heavy seal slams right down onto the squad's exact location. The old lady instantly identifies this as the Broken Soul Devourer trap. She screams at everyone to pop their aura shields to survive this, but one girl suffers from serious lag, and her body literally starts catching on fire. Screaming in pure agony, she just melts away skin, flesh, and health bar entirely gone. The blonde is absolutely traumatized by this nightmare fuel playing out right in front of her. She immediately equips a rare bow from her inventory ring, clutching a pure energy arrow. Drawing it back, she mutters that this fight is totally off script. Time to switch to a ranged build. She calls out her shot, aiming straight for his ugly mug. With literal aimbot activated, her aura arrow magically bends midair and snipes the demon directly in the face. A massive boom hits, but the demon just laughs it off, claiming his stats are still way higher. The elder admits her HP and mana pools are completely running on empty. Thanks to his defensive formation, these guys literally cannot lay a single finger on him. Spotting him, That creepy spirit suddenly puffs out its cheeks with something. It spits out dense smoke. Yutang realizes this thing is legit reviving the dead bodies. Her old buddy starts twitching like a total zombie. This zombie moves creepy as hell, but lunges at her with absolutely sick agility. Thinking fast, our blonde pulls a clutch little surprise from her storage ring. It is a massive sword, and she instantly slices that zombified woman right in half. The elder yells out that she has the toxic gas totally under control. She tells the girl to speedrun those blood puppets and take them down fast. Sadly, she reveals that her former squad is completely beyond saving now. But Yutang looks at them and sees pure regret on the faces of her former besties. Even so, one super clean slash of her blade easily claps the monster. With another enemy pulling up, she busts out an insane aerial combo to finish the job. Watch this, Yutang actually hears that dead body say her name. She freezes up, totally conflicted about striking a friend who might actually be awake again. Total bait. It was all in her head, and the monster just keeps attacking. Tearing right through her stomach with a massive hit, the blonde violently coughs up blood. The heavy damage snaps her back to reality, so she grips her weapon with wild ferocity. She hits an epic cross attack to finally end this whole tragic fight. Still, she took a critical hit. With heavy blood pouring from her mouth and stomach, she totally collapses to the dirt. Her weapon literally dissolves into the rainy wind. Choking on blood, she admits this brutal plot twist caught her completely off guard. She genuinely wonders if these enemies were actually just blood puppets. Yutang quietly wonders if the old woman even managed to survive out there. She realizes if she knew how sweaty this lobby was, she would have never brought her crew. Two hypnotized randoms pull up to the scene, staring her down as one draws a knife. The elder screams Yutang's name. A hostile spirit attacks her, asking how she dares look away. Lurking behind the barrier, the demon eagerly waits for the old woman's pathetic turtle shell to break. Lying there on the ground, the blonde totally blames herself. She knows the elder got dragged into this nightmare purely because of her. The blade flies straight at her face. We just hear her whispering curses at her own mistakes. Blood splatters everywhere. But in a massive cliffhanger, that knife entirely misses her. It stabs the dirt. The attacker's head just gets completely chopped off in one single frame. A girl calls out, saying she felt Yutang losing health way too fast and rushed over. Meet Xiao Hongling, the goated Phoenix group leader, declaring that Yutang is absolutely not dying today. Check this out, Yutang instantly recognizes her, while the guy just stares at this kid. But brace yourselves, because that guy's head suddenly just flies right off. The blonde casually calls this kid Grandma. The elder is absolutely shook by the whole scene. The legendary Miss Hongling is here. The demon just laughs. He assumes this little kid is just some low-level backup sent to help the squad. Feeling totally disrespected, the spirit talks trash, calling her just a basic mortal. He claims she stands zero chance against his super rare sword fragment. He brags that even the Emperor himself would get absolutely wrecked in this crazy matchup. Instantly, the arrogant spirit gets his mouth clamped shut by the childlike elder's insane attack. She completely deletes the trap formation made by that ghostly face. Yutang sees that one hit was enough, totally fangirling over how incredibly busted her grandma is. The tiny elder lectures her granddaughter. She says spamming attacks right from the start would have completely prevented this massive damage. She hands her some medicine, telling her to chug it down immediately. The girl downs it, then begs her grandma to scan the map for her missing teammates. The older elder tells her companion straight up their main target is our boy, and he absolutely has to be saved. She comforts her blonde granddaughter, promising she already knows everything. The girl does not need to stress and should just focus on resting. The blonde gets pretty confused about that, but then her vision goes blurry and she completely passes out. The younger-looking elder calls out, and the grandma answers instantly. The little elder asks where that companion her granddaughter mentioned actually is. The grandma replies based on a solid guess from her and Yutang. The guy has to be somewhere absolutely packed with extreme yin energy. Gripping her huge sword, the tiny elder says there is no need for any more lore drops today. She confidently claims she can easily track down the spot with the heaviest yin concentration. Hilariously, her giant sword starts floating as she tries to hop on, but she completely wipes out, falling flat in the most ridiculous way. Shaking it off, she orders everyone to hurry up and rush the blonde back to headquarters for medical treatment. Meanwhile, the tiny elder is heading straight to that high yin energy hotspot. She suddenly darts off toward the target, telling them she will catch up later. Now check this out, back at the sketchy abandoned factory holding our MC. His crazy ex-girlfriend, fully possessed by a demon, starts running a ritual. The small fox next to our guy asks what she is doing. Our MC explains she's draining the yang energy from those poor dudes to buff her own power. The catch is rapid aging, but suddenly, a massive, sick energy spike grabs her attention. Annoyed, she asks who is ruining her vibe right now. Outside, we see the blonde girl's grandma. She forces the heavy door open, rocking a fiercely angry scowl. She asks what a young girl is doing in this creepy place, and if she is hurt or lost. The tiny elder calls her auntie, confidently announcing that the little bastard is inside. Hearing this, the possessed ex-girlfriend looks totally confused by the absolute disrespect. Meanwhile, inside, the little fox actually asks if it is safe to just knock him out again the second he wakes up. But our MC brushes it off, telling the fox not to worry since he is pretty darn resilient. Suddenly, a huge explosion totally startles him. Something flies straight from the doorway and smashes right into the wall. It is the crazy X, completely impaled by that giant sword belonging to the little girl hovering in midair. The kid casually mentions they are barely warming up, so Yanu really has no right to complain yet. Chilling on her floating blade, the tiny girl asks if she's going to respond. Totally caught off guard, the bleeding X dares the little brat to at least give her a real fight. Coating her hands in wild green energy, the ex-girlfriend starts ripping the massive blade right out of her chest. She angrily yanks it free, curses loudly, and tosses the weapon upward. The overpowered little brat just floats there, watching the whole struggle with total amusement. Yeeting the heavy sword back, the X screams for the tiny brat to go straight to hell. The counterattack is seriously heavy and insanely strong. Even so, that massive chest wound starts throbbing with absolutely blinding pain. Her shirt strains under her chest as she wonders who this goated little brat riding the sword actually is. The tiny elder smugly asks if that is her best shot, since this fight feels basically over already. Panicking, the X mentally asks her demon for help, knowing she is totally outmatched here. But when the demon completely ghosts her, she is left standing there incredibly confused. But wait, check this flashback from one day ago inside some random house. Our guy's board game partner is intensely staring at a past version of herself, Bosu. That weird connection feels pretty awkward, but the heavy silence is totally broken when the girl lets out a loud sigh. She admits she is sweating because this is game number 146, but out of nowhere, her brain basically short-circuits, totally grabbing all her attention. It is the sick chi of a demonic sword. Cut to a super distant cabin in the woods, completely off the grid. A boy trapped by the demon starts screaming for his life. He screams, "Do you even know who I am?" Turns out he is part of a celestial demonic sect. The demon does not care at all, casually remembering that this kid is actually from that famous sect. But the monster basically tells him that their massive group is totally weak and he could wipe them all out easily. Crying his eyes out, the kid realizes this dude's ki is goated and absolutely terrifying, so he starts begging for a rescue. Boom, a massive explosion totally wrecks the front door of the demon hideout. Get ready for this insane entrance. A huge dust cloud goes up. Through the ruined doorway, someone steps inside. A woman just crashed the party. She straight up stomps the floor with crazy heavy pressure, an absolute flex. The spirit instantly realizes her wild chi is on another level. This energy is unique. The girl standing there is actually his long-lost mistress. Bawling his eyes out and blushing hard, the guy starts screaming her name as he totally sprints at her. She just casually kicks him away, telling him to chill out and stop being extra. He instantly obeys. The girl clocks him as the demon teamed up with Yan. He nods, totally admitting she is right, and says, that iconic feeling of getting stepped on proves she is the real boss. The girl suddenly hears someone crying for help. It is that same green-haired boy who explains he is the patriarch's son from the celestial demonic sect. He promises that if she saves him, he will do absolutely anything. He hypes up his own sect, saying their magic cultivation is sick and easily matches the famous Phoenix group in pure power. The girl looks pretty shocked by this flex and walks right over. She sits on the brawny NNE demon like a chair, declaring she does not need men, just loyal dogs. She totally ordered the flame spirit to let the kid live since he is somewhat useful. The spirit just nods. The green-haired kid instantly thanks her for the massive clutch save, but with a totally blank look. He drops a wild line saying he is officially her slave now. But right after, he drops a wild line, just straight up falls asleep. The demon flips out, yelling at him not to disrespect his absolute queen like an idiot. The spirit then breaks down his whole plan to use Yan as a host so he can get his power back. Right now, this demon is hiding out in an abandoned factory. At this current speed, he figures he can fully level up his stats in under 10 days. The girl then checks if Yan is completely under his mind control. He says absolutely, calling her a super thirsty girl who is wildly easy to play. Our main girl low-key roasts this, saying it is not the biggest brain strategy, but it works for now. Anyway, she urgently needs to track down someone named Lin Mo. Look at how this twists. Hamu admits there is an ongoing game, so she refuses to let her other challenger catch an L. The demon totally gets it. The spirit then suggests his boss should speedrun collecting those content and his cacher missing fragments right now, because things are getting insanely chaotic out there by the minute. But the girl brushes it off, no rush, because the Emperor actually dropped into this world too. That completely stuns the demon. She explains that the stored memories inside those demonic sword fragments do not share info with each other at all, but a little while back she felt a pulse from one of them. However, just right before she can grab it, the sword's energy just completely fizzles out, wiped clean by an aura she hasn't felt since the Emperor 1,000 years ago. The demon figures Hien is just perfect bait to lure the Emperor out, then orders the X to go body that little brat. But the X is totally clueless how exactly is she supposed to fight. She hasn't actually battled anyone since childhood and knows literally nothing about martial arts. So Sue, our goated tiny grandma, readies her ultimate secret sword technique. The X is full-on panicking, screaming that she does not know how to throw hands at all. So the demon calls her washed and directly hijacks control of her body. Her pupils snap into a crazy slit shape, smirking that this feels pretty special. She completely trashes the old woman as garbage, making it clear she cannot survive a second longer. Laughing like an absolute maniac, the spirit uses the X's body to blitz straight at her. Watch this closely. A blade shoots right at his blind spot. Still rocking that creepy grin, he casually parries the sword with a side kick, snatching the weapon mid-air, he claims, as his own new toy. Spinning the blade, he asks if Grandma enjoys fetch. Like playing with flying swords, he rips a second blade forward, mocking her, as a fun return gift since she clearly loves these goofy little tricks. The tiny girl throws up a purple energy shield, effortlessly bouncing the attacks straight into the dirt. The demon pulls an artifact out, absolutely hyping up his second drop for her. A massive viper suddenly manifests, lunging at our tiny grandma in a flash. She looks pretty impressed, recognizing this sick move as a super rare, long-lost technique. Luckily for her, this version is totally nerfed compared to the lore she binge-read. As the giant snake winds up a fatal strike, she mutters how Yanu raging out actually makes this fight a total walk in the park. Gripping her blade, she admits something cold. If that girl wasn't a constant crybaby, she'd feel super guilty one-shotting someone this ridiculously weak. The giant snake snaps its jaws and eats a clean slash right to the face. The beast is literally sliced wide open. Its head goes flying. Then, the immense energy leaking from the serpent's mouth just erupts into the sky. The whole summoned beast starts turning to dust, totally countered. You guys see who is watching this mess? Someone tracks the whole scene from above. It is the protagonist board game Buddy, chilling up there in full demon mode. Down below, the X's face starts contorting as the spirit straight up abandons ship. Neon purple energy bleeds out of her skin, gathering into a single speck. It shifts into a busted piece of that lost sword, owned by the demon girl. The tiny elder calls it out, finally dumped its host to stop being totally useless. She admits she definitely did not expect the culprit to be just a basic broken blade. Talk about an anticlimactic letdown. But then, pure dread hits her. The sword is literally throwing a tantrum over being called trash. The companion sighs, saying it is pretty pathetic to kick a dog while its owner is away, telling that cranky weapon to watch its back. Meanwhile, our tiny elder is sweating bullets. She realizes this aura completely matches with an elite-tier underworld boss. Her lungs literally stop working as panic floods her throat from the genuinely suffocating pressure. Turning her head inch by inch, she looks an absolute nightmare fuel, gasping for a single breath of air, suffocated by the massively unfair power gap. Staring at the demon above, all she can do is, they are literally shaking right now. The horned demoness just taunts her. She calls her completely shameless for daring to stare so boldly. Then boom, the demoness vanishes from the sky with insane speed. The possessed redhead grips her sword. No wonder this demon was so insanely hard to track. Her energy was being heavily suppressed by that older-looking girl. The redhead flares her purple energy, trying to block the strike and take this demon down. She throws out an 8th-level Taoist sealing technique. Pink energy bands instantly start wrapping around the demoness's face and body, but through those glowing bands you can see absolute pure menace. The look of a total beast who outclasses this spell entirely. Right as the seal finishes, those bands shift into a deep orange hue. Massive nails slam into the dirt, completely locking down the invocation. Pushing her possessed body to the limit, she summons the 10,000 talismans of the 8 directions. She activates total evil suppression with those 10,000 talismans to finish the job. But sick pink energy just bleeds right out of the massive seal. Sweating heavily, the redhead drops 4 celestial flames to buff her spell. Then she stacks the red lotus seal of the infernal sky on top of it. The formation clicks into place, shutting the demon down completely. She chants a high-tier vow using the law of equality to make every demon cower. She merges every single technique for one massive final nuke. A giant energy Buddha clasps its hands in prayer while crying glowing tears. Then a crack forms spreading crazy fast. That towering goated statue immediately shatters under the sheer pressure of the sealed demoness. This is definitely not the plan. This should literally be impossible. Piercing red light erupts from the dust. She remembers hearing Hongling is the absolute strongest fighter, the undisputed peak. But right now, she finds this so-called strongest power completely mid. Time to cancel this brat's playtime. Swallowing her fear, the redhead claims it is not over. But guys, the demoness is already standing right beside her, asking what exactly is not over. Right then, the redhead realizes she is incredibly cooked. Her stomach is completely sliced open, and she never even blinked. Hongling casually whispers, "When I say it is over, it is definitely over." The demoness just walks away while the short redhead completely hits the dirt. The redhead apologizes to her master. This possessed body is just way too weak. Even with 100% control, she cannot tap into a fraction of her actual power. Dripping cold sweat from massive blood loss, she desperately reaches out. She needs to grab her blade and force one last play. Honestly, she really should have noticed by now. The sword is entirely gone. The well-endowed demoness simply glances over her shoulder. Watching the flying blade approach, Hongling is super unimpressed. She casually blocks it with her weapon. The enemy metal cuts like literal butter. She had hoped using Yutang would reveal their grand plan. But what a massive letdown, completely useless. Not even fit for a warm-up. She lets out a heavy sigh. This fight was barely a tutorial level. Standing in the quiet destruction, she screams out for the Immortal Emperor. She knows he has been binge-watching this whole fight and dares him to step outside. Taunting him hard, she asks if he finally became a spineless coward like every other man here. She screams coward, calling the strongest man totally mid, way too weak to rule anything. Honestly, it makes her sick. This slightly tall lady is absolutely going off right now. Yelling again, she makes sure all those hiding can hear. If nobody stops her now, she's handing out first-class one-way tickets to find out if there is an actual afterlife. The demoness starts a countdown, straight up warning that if anyone wants to play hero, they better rush over because she is counting to 3. One of the girls literally covers her mouth so she does not accidentally make a sound. The gum guy just chills in his cage, completely useless. She kicks off the count. A water drop hits the boy right on the head, but he's completely zoning out. Suddenly, he finally wakes up. 2 seconds of her countdown are already gone. Then his super desperate voice screams out, begging not to get sent to the Shadow Realm. Down on the ground, the tiny figure just writhes in total pain. A silver-haired woman still clamps her hands over her mouth. The demonist, meanwhile, is absolutely loving the panic. Since nobody did a thing, time is up, and a ridiculously massive pillar of pure energy just blasts straight into the sky. The zone becomes ground zero for this insane power surge. A giant vortex spins up right before her. The glow is incredibly intense that you literally have to shield your eyes or go blind. Finally, the exact guy she was waiting for drops into the scene. She is so hyped, knowing for a fact the Immortal Emperor never died. Miles away, some completely random dude is wondering what on earth happened to the sky. Staring at the camera, they point out that crazy light pillar sitting over the abandoned factory. Even though it is freezing outside, the space around that beam is boiling hot, literally vaporizing the rain away. Freaking out about the whole thing, he snatches the phone from his camera guy. He shows how the beam totally cleared the clouds, guessing it might be some wild satellite laser. Then he spots something creeping out of the clouds. Meanwhile, a girl is watching his stream. She gets super salty when the connection totally drops. Just as the flash lights up her room, a voice asks if she finished her homework. Since she is literally always doom-scrolling, she aggressively claims her assignments are already done. But get this, that wild beam is miles away, exactly where Lin currently lives. First, the whole Yanui search mission, and now this giant laser. It has been a seriously exhausting day. As she pops the door open, the Emperor appears, literally shoving the demoness by her head. Even after they bounce, the heavy wind keeps howling through the room. The air finally chills out, but the window is completely busted. The girl is totally clueless about what went down. Those two just casually blasted through the building. The demoness starts talking trash, saying without his sacred sword, he is basically a washed-up boomer who forgot his meds, totally useless. Throwing a punch, she yells that he is literally just a glorified punching bag now. The raw force of that hit sends him slamming into the dirt, wrecking the nearby buildings. Still not satisfied, she starts charging up aura between her hands. She is cooking up a heavy attack. While charging, she drops a crazy incantation. That dark energy slices the sky like a blade. Something seriously weird starts forming up in the clouds. It looks exactly like 2 massive glowing eyes. It fully reveals itself as a god-tier beast, basically an oversized giant snake. Unhinging its huge jaws, it fires off a sick energy beam straight at the Immortal Emperor. Floating up there, she is absolutely shook that he actually failed to dodge it. But she soon realizes things definitely changed. Big yikes for her plan. Bro is completely untouched. She totally missed his insane tire. Protective seal. Absolute cheat code. He knew demons lacked chill, but her whole bloodline? Straight up toxic, zero respect for innocent lives at all. Catching her whole vibe, he figures the apple stays glued to the tree. Like father, like son. She gets entirely triggered by this, convinced some random like him has literally zero, right to butt into her family drama. The snake drops an absolutely massive, strike straight at the city. She literally ignores the NPCs and loudly declares they only survive if the Emperor gets packed up. The snake charges up, locking its jaws tight. Boom. It blasts the ground with a continuous beam, slicing right through the whole city in one clean line. Wherever this laser hits, it is pure game over, leaving endless flames. Up above, the Demon Queen loves her own chaotic handiwork. She gets hyped seeing the Emperor's shields finally start to crumble, waiting to see his next play. But our guy just starts focusing pure aura into two fingers, real smooth movement. Catching her totally off guard, she actually recognizes the flex. That is a straight-up sword technique, and before it even clicks, the snake gets absolutely clapped. Looking closely at her pet, she sees the crazy damage. About time, right? The Emperor finally flexes a real blade. He's locked in. Solid base material, totally worth the wait. Then she clues in that he snuck a hex on it behind her back, straight up forcing out her weak spot. But that big brain strat only works if he can wield that garbage in his hands. Tracing a perfect circle, he charges up a skill. Dropping the blade heavy, he unleashes a slash. A hidden art, fully refining that divine fire energy. Honestly, she respects it, since he always brings fresh heat to the fight. The clash between them goes absolutely wild. They start just trading blows midair at ridiculous speeds. Sweaty Gamer reflexes kick in, and she catches him slipping. After a crazy combo, she actually connects a solid slash. Despite that, Bro just smirks because he finally pulled up, trailing his own blade. Then his figure literally deletes itself, bursting into pure light. Figuring out that the fake body got torched, she realizes it was a clone, but has no clue what just slipped through the gap. Suddenly, a little paper doll pops up, already completely shredded. At the exact same time, two fighter jets pull up, spraying heavy fire. She assumes this is another sweaty strat, but these modern toys completely lack spiritual aura, just fast pieces of metal. 0% impressed, she swipes her blade, roasting their audacity out loud. But wait, one of the jets actually dodges her. Energy wave. It sends a homing missile right at her. For the queen, though, that speed is literally laggy, until the missile randomly adjusts its path. That sudden tweak totally bamboozles her. She gets eaten alive by a massive explosion. The whole target is hard-locked, and the jets keep spamming damage. A wild barrage of missiles nukes the zone on impact. Chat, his big brain strat is working, but he knows human tech buys him maybe 60 seconds tops. Minus his main weapon, he is not winning this 1v1, so he desperately needs something incredibly goated. The whole mid-fight crafting actually wrapped up. Now just one absolutely clutch final step left to do. He lets out a breath time to start the cooldown phase. Running on empty, the jets dip out toward base. But then, the earth literally bursts open. An insane earthquake. Grabbing the weapon, a freaky, eyeless monster just drops in. Roaring like a total beast, this colossal creature completely dwarfs the buildings. Hovering above, the Demon Queen announces that this is exactly what happens when you interrupt her fight. Now everyone has to die. Someone actually tips her off this monster is a walking spiritual energy battery. It is the perfect shot to completely wipe out the Emperor before his plan finishes. But look closely, something down below suddenly grabs her attention, breaking her focus entirely. A tiny kid is sobbing, frantically looking around for his dad. He keeps yelling that he is terrified. While he cries out, one of the monster's massive claws swings right toward him, just seconds away from turning him into absolute paste. The Demon Queen watches the whole thing go down. The little boy just keeps crying, completely clueless that he is about to be human jam. The horrible sight makes her shut her eyes. A sudden memory hits her. She remembers being that exact same size, desperately searching for her own dad. Meanwhile, thanks to the massive destruction, the city is total chaos and every exit is blocked. Stuck dead in traffic, a frantic phone call just rings and rings. The guy complains that his wife never answers the phone, even for emergencies. Zero cell service. Just complete dead air. But the local radio brings a wild update that monster from downtown just straight up vanished. Suddenly, right there in the car, the dad starts stressing over the heavy rain pouring down. His daughter points out that the weather forecast literally said zero chance of rain today. Right by the bridge, a sick, massive cyclone is brewing, sucking up huge amounts of water. A bunch of clueless onlookers leave their cars to film it. These people seriously need to touch grass and realize the danger. Trapped dead center in that cyclone is the Emperor's insanely blazing sword. He is literally bending the water himself. That is how he cools the hot blade. The raw energy condenses fast, dropping a massive shockwave that churns up giant waves. That heavy force drags the stranded cars, probably washing away all those hyped-up fools filming too. Right after, a super thick fog rolls in. The girl steps out of the car. Ignoring her dad yelling to stay inside, she stares out toward the empty riverbed. She absolutely cannot believe her eyes. Every single drop of water down there is just gone. Like someone literally pulled the plug. Way up high, the Emperor finally steps up to his weapon. He just casually reaches out, grabs the hilt. The absolute second he grabs it, a completely blinding burst of light explodes outward. That crazy light is visible even through the mist. The raw energy drop is so goated that the fog gets vaporized instantly. And just like that, his fully prepped blade is ready to wreck anyone caught lacking. He stares down at his sick new weapon. Honestly, waiting around in that mist took forever. Check this out. The Demon Queen calls him out for playing dumb while holding some kid's hand. She claims she definitely was not waiting around for him. The little boy beams, having finally located his totally irresponsible dad. The two of them hug it out, and the Demon Queen barks at the guy to run, since it is dangerous. She absolutely hates long, drawn-out battles, so she is planning to speedrun this whole fight. Exactly like it went down in her past life, the Emperor completely agrees with her vibe. Hoisting her sword way up high, she starts chanting the words for a truly epic barrier spell. Never one to get left on red, the Emperor summons his own avatar, glowing with bright sacred colors. She swings hard. A huge dark blast launches forward. The Emperor fires back with an attack straight out of a main character's ultimate moveset. Both energies smash together in the sky. This right here is exactly the hype she wanted. Now that he has his shiny sword, there are zero excuses for losing. He casually raises two fingers to his face. The Emperor starts praying. Wild markings flash across his face, and his summoned sword completely turns to dust. Seeing this, the Demon Queen realizes he is literally using a forbidden sword technique. It is exactly what he dropped on her before, and she really should have prepped her demonic blade for it. Right now, her weapon is totally cooked. Too weak to block his insane attack, she gets blasted. Watch this, a massive energy beam just keeps pushing at her. Up high, a wild rift rips open. It slowly opens, exposing another dimension. This power is literally shredding the whole sky apart. Totally wrecked, she admits his attack is just completely broken. The Emperor stands right there, just staring her down. He looks at her, flat out claiming this match is officially a wrap. But some random voice interrupts, claiming that things are just getting started. Severely beat down, the Queen asks what she is even looking at right now. It is the magic blade's missing other half. The weapon talks, flexing that it camped out just to collect its missing pieces. But she was hoarding way too many. Spitting blood, she boldly fires back that some knockoff sword could never actually drop her. Give it a minute, and she will fully bounce back from these heavy hits. Plus, unlike him, she still has her own cursed blade. Even if it is a mid-win, this fight is basically over. Out of nowhere, the sword violently backstabs her, popping right through her chest. The weapon straight up refuses to follow a scrub with such pathetic energy. Now both of them are getting absolutely wiped here. The cursed sword plans to delete the weakest link first, basically telling her to pack her bags and head right back to hell. It rushes right in, slamming aggressively into the exact spot she was just standing. But hold up, something is super off. No guts, just smashed concrete. Talking pure trash, the sword mocks the Emperor for playing hero and saving the literal damsel. But he is just a clown barely standing up. She aggressively demands to be put down, since she never greenlit this hug. Getting bailed out by the actual Emperor feels way worse than taking a blade, and honestly makes her angrier than being a bald woman. He gives her a look, telling her to stop being salty and save energy. If she actually wants to survive this absolute mess, he has a solid plan but needs her help. The blade instantly morphs into an absolute unit of a monster. Acting super nosy, it demands to know what they are whispering about. Feeling left out totally triggers its rage right now because it lives for the drama. Keeping his eyes completely shut, the Emperor charges up another sick spell. The ultimate prison of light. Massive energy beams instantly drop from the sky above. They blast the crazy sword monster, pinning it down hard. The freaky creature is totally stunned. Now it is completely stuck. Plus, it completely misses out on the spicy tea they were spilling right to its literal face. This lock only breaks using pure yang energy. Honestly, A perfectly hyped up weapon like that should easily flex Yang energy, but maybe it cannot since it is totally incompatible with this new reality. That brutal roast triggers the monster so badly that if it had a brain, it would have straight up blue screened. Flexing incredibly hard, it completely shatters the heavy light prison. Showing off its totally jacked body, it is not scared of needles or sketchy underground labs. Hitting a crazy pose, it asks the Emperor if he still wants to disrespect a shredded build with 3% body fat. Winding up a massive punch, it screams that the guy is running on fumes while holding a dying loser. It is honestly so embarrassing. And now it is ready to officially send them both down to hell. Still holding her though, the Emperor just confidently snaps his fingers. The monster gets absolutely blasted right above where it's. If this thing actually had a liver and chugged booze, it would be totally cooked. Looking at the insane damage, the sword is absolutely baffled. Guess it really was a hardcore drinker. Since all those fragments got snatched up, its missing piece has to be inside this buff body too. The Emperor straight up refined that fragment and turned it into pure bait. That was his goated trump card against the Demon Queen, but he blew it on the sword instead. The monster totally freaks out as its Yang energy bleeds dry. That shredded physique vanishes, leaving its veins completely empty. And right on cue, it is time for the Demon Queen to step up. The sword is fuming as she siphons its energy, shrinking it back down into a pathetic little twig. This blade is insanely desperate, practically begging to get its swole body back. A massive crack fractures the metal, and it curses them out. She was totally right. That sealed Yang power from the sword is still kicking inside his system. Now watch closely, it is time to settle this beef. A giant tongue drops right in front of them. Enter the Beast of Chaos. The sword is completely hyped, thinking the gods actually have its back. Looking way too smug, it sarcastically wishes them good luck fighting this absolute unit of a monster. Glancing over at the Emperor, she points out she carried out her end of the deal. She wants to know the next move. He just stares up at the sky, super focused. The next step is patching up that massive sky crack, but she is literally a demon. Her entire skill tree is pure destruction, so fixing stuff is not her vibe. He gives her the green light to bounce. He claims he can solo this whole mess. He just begs her to remember the promise she made. Stepping up to the plate, he claps his hands together and his eyes start glowing like crazy. Pulling his palms apart, a tiny spark of energy pops up. He blasts it straight at the beast. He demands the thing go back to its own dimension. He orders that huge rift to snap shut, and the creature gets violently shoved backward instantly. The giant crack in the sky actually starts sealing up. Watching this unfold, the demoness is genuinely shook by his insane power. Coughing up a mouthful of blood, he admits it is definitely not that easy. The guy is completely tapped out. Pulling off that crazy stunt drained every last drop of his mana. Out of nowhere, a hand grabs him tight, stopping him from getting sucked into the void. The demoness frantically yells at him to hang on a bit longer. Demon lore says racking up a huge body count makes you way stronger, but her stats literally did not budge. Despite the carnage, she realized her only goal was trolling him, planning to revive those people anyway. For some wild reason, figuring that out makes the demoness blush hard. Putting his trust in her, he agrees to fix things and let her handle the fallout. Since he buys her story, he really hopes she will not totally flake on him after this rescue. And now she is literally saving his life. With him dangling halfway inside the rift, she desperately yanks him backward. She screams that the gap is shutting fast and he is just not budging. Knowing things are about to go terribly south, she shouts his name one more time. Super calm, he points out that even knowing everyone would respawn, she still saved that little kid. Hearing that completely throws her off guard. He mutters a few final words, but the wind drowns them out entirely. Then finally, the massive rift snaps shut, trapping him in the other dimension. She is absolutely livid, raging over her own weak stats, until she spots something super weird nearby. A tiny flame doll is chilling right in her hand. As sunset hits, she posts up on a rooftop. Deep in thought, she stares at the Emperor's parting gift. It just makes her sigh, feeling totally bummed out. Throwing her hand up high, she starts rallying a massive crowd. That massive energy sphere goes completely sick, blasting multiple beams straight across the city like crazy. The intense glow lights up her face. But as the giant sphere shrinks down, the light completely fades out. The energy drops, and she coughs super hard, totally drained from that clutch move. Reviving just one person costs 100 years of cultivation, and carrying that huge crowd took way more. She finally pulled off everything she promised. She grabs the doll. It just turns to dust in the sky. Watching it, she flashes back to the Immortal Emperor, especially when she was dying, right in his arms. She actually feels her cheeks burning up over what he said to her. That gray-haired dude totally living rent-free in her head right now. His face is all she thinks about. She looks back on him with some major fondness. Now she's out cold in bed, knocked out. In her dream, she thinks about how that Red-eyed woman is a total demon, and absolutely nobody should dare to mess with her. An older demon hands her a sword to execute this immortal spy, a guy who already packed up so many of her people, but she's basically just a kid. The adult pressures her to finish it. Her hands shake. Out of patience, the older demon shoves her super hard. The blade sinks right into the prisoner's gut. This is just way too traumatic for her, being a little kid and all. The adult straight up says her soft heart is a weakness that will totally come back to bite her later. Slowly, the dream completely shifts gears. She really needs to rethink her whole mindset on this. Now her eyes lock right onto something completely different. The goated Immortal Emperor gets sucked right into the rift. All she wants is for him to shut his mouth and try to survive. But he mentions what she did with that lost kid. Those words completely trigger her, and she begs him to shut up. The Emperor just smiles at her. He already knew she was absolutely no saint, but he never expected her to have a decent side either. After that absolute nightmare, she bolts upright in bed. Her hands grip the sheets tight, completely shook by the whole thing. Now get this. At a giant table, a shadowy woman spills the tea on last week's events. Those two fought and straight up nuked half the city, and one sword clash even ripped straight through the sky. Afterward, some broken unknown force somehow revived every single person who died, but they definitely cannot count on that happening again. One dude suggests they might as well go touch grass and wait to die if they trust those clowns. Yangshu questions what else they can even do, fixing absolutely nothing. Saint Yaochi finds it super hard to believe that one basic sword slash could slice the sky and open a rift. A sword saint feels pretty embarrassed by this story, having zero clue about a move like that. Lu Xinyi tells her to just chill out, since absolutely no immortal could punch a hole in the sky. That one guy obsessed with body mods mentions how Old Man Z got completely clapped in a single hit, so they would get totally wrecked too. Hu Tang, with her very obvious assets, asks her grandmother if these guys linked up just to cry about it. Grandma Bayun tells her grandkid to check her attitude, since she has already chatted with another elder on how they plan to handle this mess. Since ancient times, her clan has managed the oracles, those divine weapons that totally govern the world right now, defending the good guys and catching heretics lacking. But the oracle left a super weird message. They have to drink this tear and do right, and they locked it up with some crazy side effects. The blonde wants to know what this tear has to do with them and their whole strategy. Her grandmother flashes back to when Hu Tang first pulled up to the temple, so badly wounded that her chances of survival odds were basically zero. So Yu Tang demands to know how she is even breathing. That core they planted, it shattered entirely, fusing straight into her system. She is literally the daughter of destiny now. A total cheat code from the heavens. She is their trump card, and they have to help her cultivate. One guy pitches bringing in some dude from his own clan to pair up and boost her training. But the woman with that faint shadow steps in it has to be a guy with a pure yang body. Yu Tang is totally shook they're actually doing this. A dude packing that kind of energy is obviously going to be insanely gorgeous, so they need to find an absolute 10, which just tilts Yu Tang even more. The Pierce guy chimes in that the candidate must be young. An age gap would completely ruin the whole process, so they are hitting up the local schools. Hence the massive beauty contest happening right now. Yu Tang is honestly mad she gets zero say in her own life. Meanwhile, over on the other side, that red-eyed girl gets the intel on this wild scheme. Yu Tang apparently needs a partner to double her cultivation. They are running a student beauty pageant, dropping this specific guy right onto the candidate list. She is hyped for him to win. Taking first place gets them right next to the Phoenix group and straight to the Daughter of Destiny. They also mention another major detail during that meeting. She leans in, wanting the tea. They are dumping every resource they have into hunting down the Emperor and grabbing his magic sword. Getting what she needed, she finally lets her informant bounce. A whole week has dragged by since that mess, and her aura is still completely nerfed. This vessel is ridiculously fragile. Her last respawn basically bricked her core foundations. Even with this safe world, the whole situation is getting insanely complicated. The magic sword is straight up rebelling. Plus, the Emperor and that demon's sword are her top-tier ops. She is going to lay low as Hanyan for now. Once she heals up, that sword is her first target. She decides to keep the pot. The guy at the register just tells her to slide to the next counter. He randomly asks if she likes monarchs, leaving her completely flustered. Somewhere else, a tiny fox-eared girl bows to her master. She asks if he is holding up okay, but the young dude is literally locked in, meditating hard. He had previously ordered her to spy on Yu Tang using a paper doll. Now she is giving him the full rundown of that meeting. The audio was slightly scuffed, but she definitely mentions the upcoming beauty contest and how they plan to double cultivate with Yu Tang to counter the Demon Queen. Plus, they are actively hunting for him and the Demon's Sword. Hearing enough, he waves her off. He needs to lock in. Spamming those forbidden techniques is wrecking his mortal body. He feels completely drained, like his mana is zeroed out, so he has to keep Lin Mo totally under the radar. Now watch this flex. He drops a flawless move, handing his opponent another fat L. She admits defeat, but copes hard, figuring she only let him win because he got kidnapped on her watch. In her mind, a basic mortal could never actually outplay her. She remembers promising him a reward for winning. She just assumes he is going to ask for some cliché date or something basic. But catching her totally off guard, he calls that idea super boring and says they can table it. He roasts her gameplay today, tells her she looks half asleep and should probably touch grass and wash her face. That completely tilts her. She tried acting nice to a mortal, and it just made his ego absolutely massive. She swears he is never getting a W again. Soon, a young woman greets Lin Mo. She says she hasn't seen him touching grass all day. Then she brings up the beauty pageant. Her and her sister were totally ready to simp and vote for him, but he isn't even listed. He finds the whole thing cringe and 0% interesting. Honestly, it is kind of crazy that a guy with his ego would dodge a contest like this, leaving her confused. She figured he was just playing hard to get, so she stepped up to be the one to sign him up for the contest herself. And honestly, organizing this whole thing was way too easy. Right now, first place is held by an absolute neckbeard. With zero actual vision, she flat out refused to marry this bozo. But then, she spotted Lin Mo. Now, watch this. Waving her phone around, she called her squad to check something out. It was a video of Shen Li shredding on the guitar. The dude's raw riz had them literally drooling all over their screens, obviously. But she called them feral animals for thirsting over Lin Mo. Very smooth. Her friend quickly pointed out that the supposed critic had already liked and saved it. Plus, she fully downloaded it to binge-watch later, all alone in the dark. Super sus, honestly. Scrambling for an excuse, she swore they were strictly just classmates, and it was just pure sympathy, always ready to stir up drama, her bestie. Called her out loud, she absolutely wanted to share a bed with Lin Mo. She snapped right back that yeah, she totally would. The guy is insanely hot. Exactly. Honestly, the whole squad totally wished they were getting that attention themselves. Meanwhile, this guy swore he would win. Bro spent 8 hours editing his selfies. Lino had already totally lapped him. First place belonged to a total clown, who looked like a sick pet shop animal. He promised to grind even harder, but his buddy gave him a reality check, said his chances were basically zero. Somebody pointed out the great Shen Li was there, the super feminine, androgynous dude, with that genetic eye problem, just walking the halls and getting completely harassed by everyone. Then he announced he was clocking out. He needed to speak with Yu Tang privately. She figured he probably had zero clue what this contest was actually about. Still, she was pretty curious about what he wanted. Suddenly dropping his voice an octave, he asked them to keep supporting him. But Yu Tang instantly caught that weird vocal shift. The kid walked up holding some homemade cookies just for her. His tone shifted again, begging her to just try one. She flat out refused that bozo's cooking, because bro definitely looked like he never washed his hands. She stormed off, totally roasting him. Absolutely gross. But she realized that weird mind control voice trick from the divine demon entirely failed to work on her, probably because she is literally the daughter of destiny. Yu Tang was beyond triggered, completely grossed out by the glasses guy. She knew he was a cultivator using his powers to pull girls. Total creep behavior. She wanted absolutely zero part of it, but he was already on her grandma's list, which means she could not even expose his true colors yet. Insane, right? While she was chilling at her desk, her bestie announced Lin Mo had just arrived. Seeing him flying solo is super rare. Shan has basically been a girl magnet lately, and Yu Tang completely forgot he was sitting in second place. Her friend hyped her up. That made her turn bright red. She was so flustered, the idea had not even crossed her mind. Because they are strictly just friends, right? Absolutely nothing more than that. Except she could not even finish the sentence. Her mouth literally refused to say the words. She kept flashing back to him, playfully nudging her in the side. On paper, yeah, they are just a pair of besties. But her memories are saying something way different. Her brain instantly went to his unbuttoned shirt, revealing a pretty solid, defined chest. Her friend leaned in, pretending she did not hear her, asking again if they were actually just friends. Her classmates are definitely not buying it. Rocking a massive nosebleed totally ruins the vibe. She starts stressing over her crush on that guy and totally bolts from the cafeteria. Ying walks down the hall, her brain completely short-circuiting over these messy feelings. Some guys try to chat her up, but she ignores them. She needs goated pics of him. Otherwise, beating Shen is literally impossible. That girl has crazy money and zero chill. She already booked the sickest photographers in the entire city, and Lin Mo definitely would not turn down that kind of VIP invite. But check this out, he instantly rejects her offer to her face. He even roasts her, tells her to go touch grass and get a job. Plus, she is just being annoying. He basically tells her to go bother literally anybody else. But there is a bigger reason he keeps hidden. The dude feels like absolute trash and needs to spend all his free time grinding his cultivation. To her, though, he claims he got kidnapped recently and just does not trust women right now. That last excuse actually sounds legit, so she completely buys it. Cut over to the gym. She is absolutely wailing on a punching bag, stressing over this whole messy situation. She is totally spiraling, thinking this is all her fault since she promised to protect him. She swore everything would be chill. Now it just looks like she was straight up capping. Major liar vibes. Now his trust in her is gone, and she is completely locked out. Nothing she can do will fix this. The whole thing just makes her violently angry. Thinking about this, total ugly crying. The idea of marrying that creepy, practically blind dude is literally worse than death. Soon, she gets hyped on rage and goes back to destroying that heavy bag. Then this super buff woman with a masculine face asks why the gym is completely dead. The attendant explains Yu Tang rented out the entire place for the day. Since walking in, she ditched her shirt and has just been wrecking that bag on a non-stop loop. She is just some wealthy girl, throwing cash around, but still only a student. The buff woman is desperate to brawl, and this looks like the perfect chance to throw hands. The gym guy warns her it is a terrible idea since the kid has mad anger issues, but the woman does not care at all. She tells them to refund the girl she is totally down to step up. She claims the kid has skills but zero stamina, then flexes her title as the official gym trainer, Heian. The girl just glares and tells her to back off before she catches hands. Rocking major attitude, the juice-drinking friend calls her out if she backs down now. She is a massive coward. Now watch this unfold. Outside, random bystanders see a body completely launch from the first floor window. And because things are not chaotic enough, the blonde girl jumps straight through the glass, totally ready to finish this beatdown. Nobody on the street has a clue why they're fighting, but it is basically a one-sided massacre. Heian lost her mask, and now she is literally begging the young cultivator to just spare her life. Holding the mask, she demands to know why she even wore it. There's a nasty scar on her face, but the blonde says that changes nothing. She's getting cooked either way. But she still has unfinished business and fully plans to drop her just like she promised. Touch her again, total game over. It will end with her rocking cement shoes and sleeping with the fishes. A cop finally pulls up since there was a dispatch call about an active crime in progress. Taking one look at the terrified woman, he instantly recognizes her as a highly notorious pervert with a massive bounty. The creep targets 80-year-old grandpas, which is exactly why the blonde snapped. She just went from straight-up villain to goated hero in 1 second flat. Not only did those random bystanders apologize, but she also secured the bag for catching that fugitive. And like that wasn't sick enough, she got interviewed for pulling such a hyped move. Cut to the next day, back in the cafeteria grind. Same exact vibe as yesterday. Her friend figured Yu Tang brought the redhead over to spill tea about the fugitive catch, but that was totally not the play. Every time this girl touched grass, she either made bank or met gorgeous guys. And her grandma was pushing her to lock down a boyfriend quick, so she wondered if she could use that main character luck to snag Lin Mo. But he was notoriously cold and calculated, straight up telling her to date Shen instead. Meanwhile, the redhead was over there hacking up a lung from choking. The blonde was super confident, just wanting the full rundown on him. His likes, dislikes, his entire daily routine, blood type, address, nothing too crazy. Turns out Lin Mo was the redhead's absolute best friend, basically a brother to her. If the blonde wanted to get the inside scoop, she better cough up some cash, because nothing is free out here. The blonde just smirked at the pure audacity. If she dropped some actual facts, she would get 500,000 yuan. But if it was Cap, the redhead completely ignored the threat, claiming she keeps it real. Yanking something straight out of her bra, she announced there was zero backing out now. All those notes covered, his habits and hobbies, stuff she had low-key hoarded over time. Now the blonde was legit overwhelmed with all this data. But here is the crazy part. She already knew one thing for a fact. Every single lunch period, he ditched the cafeteria. He grabbed his food and ghosted, but the blonde had already clocked this too. A friend leaked he played chess on the terrace with some girl daily. The second, she heard the word girl. The blonde got instantly jealous, absolutely demanding to know who this edgy rival was. Pointing over by the food station, she mentioned the girl was standing right there. The blonde whipped around to check, since she had literally never heard of anyone playing chess at this school. It was the red-eyed girl, Han Si. After spotting her, the blonde was completely shook. She definitely did not see that coming. Then, staring at her, a memory clicked. She was dead. She just kept repeating it over and over. Over some basic game, she was literally ignoring her friend's life. Her friend warned her to watch out because Han Si was a top-tier threat, but the blonde brushed it off, saying they used to be friends anyway. Chilling on the Paudian's terrace under a gloomy sky, she called out that he finally showed up. He mentioned the weather sucked and there were plenty of empty rooms inside. They didn't plan to camp on from the rooftop, but their chess war started here, and it was going to end right on this spot. She asked if he was scared, but he called her bluff, noting the weather app called for rain and snow. He was just stressed that a certain girl would get drenched and tackle him with her very generous, heavy-handed attributes. Plus, my guy literally just got kidnapped recently, so he has zero trust in women right now. But she tossed her coat at him, refusing to apologize later if he caught a cold in the rain. Lin Mo just stared at the jacket while his rival watched him, totally blushing. Stay on guard, bro. Meanwhile, this girl looked away, low-key annoyed. He refused to wear it, but she ordered him to throw it on fast so he wouldn't have any excuses when she destroyed him. Challenge accepted. He's only sticking around to avenge yesterday's massive loss. Next time the weather tanks, he is not touching that terrace. As for her, she just wants to dodge the misunderstanding allegations. He points out her short sleeves aren't exactly tight, so she totally flexes that. She's rocking a solid 36, but this guy immediately asks what number that is, leaving her absolutely mortified. Anyway, this is definitely not the time to stress over that. Right on cue, the sky opens up, and our girl is literally still burning up with pure embarrassment. She claims his mouth is cursed and he totally summoned this rain. Bro had just checked the weather app. That is solid enough for him, and he announces he is heading out. The second he turns his back, she yells at Lin Mo to freeze. After taking that loss, he told her to wash her face and return, which she actually did. Now they are drenched. But today they are throwing down regardless. Trying to keep the vibe spontaneous, she challenges him to a rematch because she desperately needs a win today. Staring him down, his totally unbothered expression just gets under her skin. Mad annoyed, she tells him to go touch grass at home if he doesn't want to play. She stands out in the downpour, her fit getting completely soaked and see-through. Super salty with Lin Mo, she vents, then peeks at him low-key. Plot twist, Lin Mo agrees to play, but just one single round. It is officially his turn now. Hyped that it is actually happening, she shoots him a look, looking way happier, just to claim it is actually her turn on the sticks. Because her stats are so insane, she spent her whole life making people terrified. Zero friends, zero trust. She was fully locked in to be the ultimate demon queen, wiping out crowds and ruling it all. Catching feelings was never part of her plan. Yet somehow, she found the one person in this world who matches her chaotic, spontaneous energy. Someone who actually wants to hang out and do the exact stuff she finds fun. For the first time ever, she is having a blast. But get this, he just sneezes. Checking in, the little girl asks if her master is doing all right. He says he is chilling and asks for a status update on the Dark Gate. Everything is running perfectly smooth. She listed every single item he gave her online, and 8 have already been snatched up. Now she can score compasses to track down yin energy, keeping that crazy demonic sword from acting out and going rogue. She needs to stash all her cultivation gear away, in the house, at least until that wrecked wall gets properly fixed up. Out of nowhere, a woman pulls up, calling his name. She demands to know what he did with Yu Tang, since she just got a massive haul of gifts from her. The girl adds that she really needs to talk. Lin Mo swears he did absolutely nothing wrong. He casually suggests knocking next time, but they have guests over right now, and she wants him downstairs to say what is up. But that sounds like a major drag. Plus, he seriously needs a shower. This completely triggers her because Yu Tang is basically simping, yet he ignores her even though marrying her would be totally goated for the family. She heads back and tells the blonde guest to hold up Lin Mo is grabbing a shower to look fresh. The woman then announces that she, her husband, and her son are dipping out. The blonde can hang with Lin Mo, but she honestly just wants to drop a quick message and bounce right after. Calling for her husband, the woman says they are gone until tomorrow, after lunch. But the blonde insists that is totally overkill. The poor girl really just wants to apologize, but every word she drops just makes the situation way more awkward. She is sweating it so hard she desperately needs to find a bathroom right now. So she starts roaming the house searching for a toilet. Then she spots a door cracked open. Out of nowhere, Lin Mo steps out rocking nothing but a towel. Bro is absolutely shredded, showing off a literal Greek god physique. Right then, he spots her standing right there. With basically everything on full display, he immediately demands to know why she's even here. But her brain is completely short-circuiting right now because she just wants a much closer peek. She stammers out an apology, claiming she got lost looking for the bathroom. Aggressively, she insists she did not see a single thing at all, and she promises she definitely was not trying to stare at his physique through that towel. If she saw anything, she already forgot it. But with her crazy daughter of destiny luck, she seriously wonders if her thirsty thoughts just manifested. She is entirely convinced something absolutely wild is about to go down, starting with her hyped emotions. Now her heart is doing absolute backflips inside her chest. Mustering up some courage, she blurts out that they are moving way too fast. Too bad she gets completely cut off by a massive, unexpected impact straight to her chest. Lin Mo literally decks her, determined to protect his purity. You cannot make this up. Bro perfectly mastered the art of guarding innocence. Whatever her deal actually is, he figures she better go touch grass and seriously cool off. Back inside, they settle down for a slightly more normal chat. The blonde seriously wants to apologize for completely failing to protect him earlier. He brushes it off, that was Yan's fault. Still, she bought a massive haul of apology gifts, desperately hoping he accepts them. He says skip the gifts, but coughing up cash for the busted wall would actually be goated. Getting super late, he just needs sleep. He completely tells her to bounce, so she steps out and gently shuts his heavy door. Outside, she just leans back, feeling incredibly frustrated now. She slowly slides all the way down until sitting straight on the floor. This is definitely not the sick romantic vibe she wanted. Her brain immediately starts looping through every single epic memory she has ever shared with Lin Mo. It hits her right in the feels. Meanwhile, our boy is inside doing classic innocent protagonist stuff that only happens in anime. Then, shooting her shot, she straight up asks him to be her boyfriend. Sweating bullets over his incoming answer, she strictly warns him she's only saying this once. She refuses to exploit his emotional state right after that whole insane kidnapping trauma. Knowing he is still healing up, her words just start completely tumbling out of her mouth. Trying to recover, she accidentally blurts out how much she loves taking him places. Plus, she is low-key obsessed with how his scent lingers in her helmet, making him sweat. She even finds it cute how fiercely he guards his purity over misunderstandings. He is completely built different, and it might mean nothing, but she fully commits. One day she will be worthy, though confessing all this absolutely drained her. While she sits there utterly winded and drained, Lin Mo suddenly gets up and slowly approaches her. Her brain is completely fried, terrified this chaotic speech just fully chased him away. But she's stubborn as hell, and every single word was entirely genuine. Quitting just is not her vibe. Now Lin Mo is completely backed against the bedroom wall. Since nobody can shrug off a gorgeous girl confessing, trust me, our boy is sweating absolute buckets. He gulps and finally speaks up. They have literally only known each other for 6 months. Yet she is already claiming she likes him. He asks if she really thinks love is that totally superficial. But honestly, if that is her vibe, you gotta respect it. She should totally go for it. The girl gets super hyped about it. She waves goodbye to him and heads straight home. But she definitely wants him to tag along tomorrow for a photo shoot. From the window, he watches the blonde girl happily bounce down the street. The tiny woman asks her master if everything is chill or something is bugging him. She asks why he did not just reject her. That girl is the literal child of destiny. She has maxed out luck stats. Even being goated, he could not actually stop her flow. Even if he said no, the universe would still help her snag whatever she wants. But romance is not just pure RNG luck. Still, if that luck actually touches his heart, a heart that has been single for 10,000 years, why even try to stop it? It is definitely something to chew on. Even totally basic people act crazy foolish when love strikes them. Next day, they tell him to stare straight at the camera. Dude is looking super fresh, posing for pics, rocking another sick outfit. He hits a new pose. This time he rocks a sporty fit. The blonde claims the drip just does not capture his goated vibe. And honestly, that school uniform is his most goated fit. Bro is totally clueless though, but the blonde insists on the school uniform for some totally sus, unspoken reasons. Now he rocks the formal drip. They finally get around to the voting results. Lin Mo takes the win, but his background is low-key a mystery, so they gotta test the kid. One guy asks how they will even pull that off. The redhead runs this whole op. Stressed out, she should just reveal the guy. She instantly remembers the blonde and her completely unhinged reaction. So she books the meeting tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. at the hotel. But watch this. Nobody even bothers to confirm they will show up, yet the entire freaking world is at stake. Zero room for error. The heavy chat ends. He hangs up. Time to finally meet the goated Lin Mo. The worker asks how they should handle her absolutely crazy request. She wanted a fresh new vibe, so he legit dragged in 20 schoolgirls. He simply demands he swallows hard. Bones broken, then he straight up chucks them into the ocean with rocks attached. Honestly, all that mid-trash meant nothing compared to what Yutang was holding. Lin Mo looked like a total NPC in pictures, just completely basic. One of them literally asked why Jiu had a sword, since she promised a casual fit. She never dropped that weapon. It had been glued to her side since day one. Every single sex showed out. Hong Ling's granddaughter was either totally goated or entirely clueless. Someone warned the gray-haired lady she needed to chill out on the drinks. This meeting was super important. She was only there to see Hong Ling. Listening to those screaming blondes all day would be pure brain rot. They finally arrived. Trust me, she was just waiting to see what kind of dude this boy was. She was totally shook. The blonde just rolled up with her +1 and asked if she was late. Like, no shot, man. It literally felt like Homegirl was scanning right through his entire soul. Now the whole crew was chilling at the table. He only pulled up for clues on the venerable demon, and yeah, because the blonde totally begged him to come. But taking one look at this vibe, he instantly knew he could not count on these women for a single thing. They were thirsting hard. The old lady smirked, staring at the boy like that would completely ruin him. He heard the hype and asked Yu Tang for a proper intro. She flexed to the group that Lin Mo was her man. He shut that down quick, skipping the whole meet and greet. Man just wanted to eat and dip. The gray-haired chick called him a total snack. She asked Yu Tang's little pet if he wanted to pause the munchies and chat privately. Word on the street was he loved tea, so she offered him a super exclusive brew only she knew how to whip up. It smelled exactly like golden silk tea. The food in front of him was totally mid anyway, so why not try her premium stash? Yu Tang instantly caught some seriously sus vibes. She spotted some sketchy powder dropping right from under the woman's fingernail. Could be party drugs. Or worse, Yu Tang shot straight up from her seat, demanding to know what the hell that sly chick slipped in the drink. The victim. The gray-haired girl said a Shah family lady shouldn't ruin her clean rep over some wild accusations. She swore on her life she didn't spike the tea, and if she was lying, she would literally chop off her own head as a gift. But if she was innocent, her price was borrowing Lin Mo for a few days. Hearing that garbage, Yu Tang saw pure red. She stepped right up to her, pressing her chest aggressively against the other girl. She dared her to say that again, if she actually had the guts. Yu Tang knew the tea was definitely spiked, or maybe this was just premium bait, so she warned Lin Mo not to drink that trash. The gray-haired chick clapped back that the man could make his own damn choices. Leaning in close, she whispered that nobody in the immortal world knew Yu Tang's real identity, and she was totally ready to leak it to everyone. The gray-haired girl warned the blonde to watch her back. She only lived through her mercy. Lin Mo just sat there, realizing this chick was also a complete and absolute menace, wondering if all female cultivators were this unhinged. The gray-haired girl asked one more time if he wanted that tea, and yeah, she absolutely slipped something nasty into the cup. No color, zero smell. But he sensed some weird energy, a straight-up venomous parasite. It was incredibly tricky to spot. He could barely even tell it was there, which totally explains why such a basic trick still works so well. Now get this, the squad watched, nobody moved. This dinner was 100% a test. If he downed it, his insane power would basically cancel out the poison, and that would look totally sus. But rejecting it made him look like a pro, sparking more tests and turning his future cultivation into an absolute nightmare, since they would constantly keep tabs on him. The dude was seriously stuck, no clue how to dodge this massive red flag. But suddenly, a hand slapped the table. Yu Tang snatched it, chugging the entire cup herself. That flex was so wild, Lin Mo literally dropped the food from his chopsticks. She took the hit for him, sending a loud message about their fake relationship. If she went down, that was enough. Then the older lady bragged about bringing a treasure and wanted to show it off. She asked if it was cute, but bro, it was just an ugly rat. This thing sniffed out yang energy, hunting for bodies that were actually capable of cultivating. And it looked like they were using this creepy radar to see if Lin Mo was boyfriend material. There was just one tiny problem. In his family tree, nobody had been able to cultivate for the past 18 straight generations. But shocking everyone, the rat just started squealing endlessly without leaving. The old woman's hand is literally shaking right now. Everyone is completely shook by the rat acting totally crazy. The gray-haired woman tells her to let it loose. The second she lets go, that thing zooms straight across the table at Lin Mo. It jumps right at him. But watch, he flicks it away like an absolute boss. My guy is still eating, so he tells the old woman to control her weird pet. He brushes it off though. Her squad clearly hates him, so he decides to head out. But the blonde practically begs him to wait up. She just wants him to hear her out first. The blindfolded chick mentions the rat is usually super shy. Even around pure yang energy, it normally just chills and observes from a safe distance. Shocked out of her mind, the old woman realizes his yang energy is built different. Tearing up, she calls it the legendary supreme body, totally goated tear stuff right there. The Xiao family daughter really hit the jackpot, leaving the old woman intensely jealous. Mark my words, tonight absolutely has to stay a secret. Anyone leaking this gets cancelled permanently and severely punished. The gray-haired woman secretly thinks Yu Tang is going to fold instantly for his insane physique. They dip out on her motorcycle. He just wants to know if that tea was actually spiked. The blonde swears that woman would never dare try anything against her. Plus, nobody chased them down, so it definitely is not a big deal. Totally distracted, her eyes suddenly bug out at what is right in front of her. Some random unlucky dog wanders straight into her path. Trying to avoid hitting it, she pulls a totally reckless move, risking both of their lives in the process to save the pup. Everything happens crazy fast, and suddenly Lin Mo is literally launching through the air. Somehow. She clutches his arm. They both wipe out completely on the ground. The blonde lands first, right on top. He casually asks her to slide off. Freaking out, she checks his health, but he is completely fine. Since motorcycle crashes only hurt regular mortals, he just stares at her hands looking mad, confused. Pelting snow right at his face, she demands they have a snowball fight. That spiked tea is definitely kicking in now. Acting like a literal toddler is a classic symptom, plus her face is intensely flushed and burning. 9 out of 10 times, this poison deletes behavioral filters, making victims act super aggressive or totally down bad. Now watch this. He just stares at the absolute baddie practically begging to sit on him. So he humors her and agrees to play, provided they wrap it up pretty quick. This throws him right back to old times when someone begged him to goof off. Normal dudes should probably touch grass, but a cultivator always has to stay grinding. She completely understands he cannot slack off with demons everywhere. Honestly, she has been waiting forever for him to make a move. It sucks he is not an Immortal Emperor yet, but the elders always hype up his insane potential. The girl just really wants to figure out his timeline for reaching that absolute peak rank, snagging true immortality, paradise, absolute rule, and destroying all the demons forever. Super stressed out, she begs for a real time frame. 1,000 years? 10,000 years? If the grind takes that long, the world might end completely beforehand. Plus, he might literally never marry an average mortal like her. All she wants today is 30 minutes of his time to just mess around and play in the snow with her. Afterward, she apologizes for being so clingy and making things weird. She tells him to go stay focused and be the hero he wants, maybe in the next life. Maybe they catch up later. She is definitely going to keep bugging him to chill in the snow together. That twisted demon sword calls this entire generation of cultivators completely brain dead. Leaving this spot to weak mortals was dumb. Since the Demon King totally checked out, he is about to wipe the map. The girl crawls, choking on the crazy heavy air. The second he closes in, that monstrous blade just absolutely goes for the kill. But the Emperor actually steps up to block. He is totally pissed about his wrecked territory. He counters hard with his own blade. The monster gets super annoyed because seriously sending a total rookie to handle a legendary demon sword is wild disrespectful. The Emperor yells that his brothers are pulling up soon, so this sword is basically trapped. But the sword just taunts him. Let us see what happens first, you dying or your squad arriving. The insane brawl just keeps raging through the burning village. One hit absolutely wrecks him. Then he realizes something way worse than his own HP dropping. That girl he just tried saving gets totally launched through the air. Way too late now, that insanely hyped demon sword is completely ready to end her run. But then he catches a weird detail. Something is actually gripping his feet. The monster laughs that the rookie got played hard. He was tunnel visioning on the girl, and now he is stun locked. A lethal hit is coming, but the girl literally tanks it for him. He is stunned. She dies right in front of him. The monster raises a hand, catching her in its claws. He just shakes her and tosses her away. Like pure trash, bragging that the rookie is definitely up next on the chopping block. Plot twist. He cannot finish it. The venerable demon is paging him. Did his master find out he went rogue? Absolutely furious, the Emperor screams out, demanding to know if this thing is actually the venerable demon's minion. Whether it is or not, it takes serious guts for a rookie to even ask. He should be thanking the venerable demon right now, because that random summon basically just saved this dude from a total game over. He rushes over to a traumatized Ying and desperately asks if she is hanging in there. Barely whispering, she says the boy is finally back. She asks if it is actually him. Her vision is completely gone at this point. Sobbing, he confirms it is him, literally begging her not to log out of the game just yet, because his squad is almost here. But her HP is hitting 0, so she tells him to listen. Past the bamboo forest by the cliff, he is going to have to solo that part, but she hopes to join his party in the next life. Her final breath is just a quiet apology. The fire spreads, and the Emperor just completely breaks down. Meanwhile, the future Demon King tells her dad this sword is incredibly toxic, and it is honestly just a matter of time before it triggers a completely massive disaster. He cannot keep protecting something so sketchy. He should take notes from her. Wiping things out is not actually bad, but her dad literally just smacks the soul out of her. Taking out some random nobodies or dropping bandits is literally the same. Her weak mindset will ruin everything they built, and maybe she does not deserve the venerable demon title. He remembers her asking him out in the snow, plus how he always brushed her off to grind until something suddenly catches his eye. Staring up at the moon, he remembers her joking that if he just kept constantly training, he would literally go gray. The flashbacks have him bawling. She wanted him goaded, so they could link up in the next run. But now, the girl standing right there is the blonde, but he still holds on to that one promise his very first love made. Bugging him to touch grass in the snow, he just wants to stop stressing and stop taking the exact same L's. Meanwhile, the blonde stares at her monitor, totally lost. She stumbles across something wild and has to double-check the receipts. Turns out, Yukon took her own life. Absolutely tragic. She is super bummed for her. Then, another DM pops up. The sender is ditching their gaming squad, and they are completely raging at Hani, blaming her for literally everything. If the blonde had not messed things up, Candy would not be in this sick mess, basically passing out. She is hardcore grieving Yukon. Meanwhile, this creepy chick asks what would actually happen if the blonde straight up dropped dead right there. But she apologizes, since she would never guess her family would sweat her this hard over some stupid gaming tournament. Suddenly, someone else pulls up, calling total cap on that story. It is way deeper than a game. She demands to know how Henny got here. Stabbing a literal knife straight into her chest, she asks if she wants the tea. If so, she better use her brain and figure out the actual hard facts. She knows she will figure it out. Watch this. Smacking the desk hard, the blonde yells to hold up. But now she is completely solo in class. The blue-haired girl pops in, hyping up lunchtime and asking if she snagged food. Getting closer, she asks where Lino is hiding. The girl totally called it, saying she prepped for this exact question. Bro is chilling up on the terrace, and definitely not alone. Cue the massive jealousy spike. Seeing the blonde dip out, she tells her not to do anything stupid. She just cannot believe someone like Sydney would actually be into dudes. Plus, she has literally never heard her drop a single hint about it. She needs to see exactly what they are doing up on that terrace. She is absolutely shook. I guess the wild school rumors were dead on. Those two were straight up playing chess. She walks up, pointing out that the whole school knows she hardcore sims for Lino, yet she somehow missed the memo. But the girl hits back they have been grinding chess daily since they met, and literally everyone knew except her. The blonde is low-key fuming right now. Since she is here, she needs to grill her about her older sister's drama, but the brunette completely shuts her down, saying the question is total nonsense since her older sister has zero to do with her. Now the blonde knows she took a massive L, but she just wants to know why this girl hates her. The brunette invades her personal space. Things get real, claiming the blonde knows absolutely nothing. Totally hooked, she demands to know the secret lore, telling her to spill the tea immediately. If she cares about Yukon, go do the digging for herself. With her current stats, it should be easy. The blonde fires back that if this is some troll joke, she will completely wreck her. Grabbing Lino's shoulder, she tells him to ditch this and come play with her instead. She's goaded too. But the brunette grabs the blonde's arm mid-flex, leaving both her and Lino completely stunned. He is not trying to break his chess streak, and points out the blonde is acting way too thirsty right now. So if she claims to be his main girl and wants to know the brunette's status, she claps back that she is basically his only equal in this game. Standing up, Bro announces he does not belong to anybody, and if they keep beefing, he is out of there fast. Walk away. Yutang grabs his arm. If he bails, she is totally coming along too. Lin Mo finally snaps, telling Yutang she is acting like an absolute toddler. She fires back to go tattle then. But honestly, Yutang has zero clue why she gets so intensely triggered seeing Lin Mo with that specific woman. Suddenly, Xinyi snatches her arm. That instantly sends the blonde into pure. That makes twice she grabbed her. Get ready for this. The brunette asks if there is a problem. Xinyi literally could not care less. Furious, Yutang yells that she already called dibs on Lin Mo. Burning with intense jealousy, she demands to know if Xinyi is trying to steal her guy. Xinyi bluntly replies she is sick of the blonde constantly harassing a guy like him. Flaring her spiritual aura, she warns she will not repeat herself. And the blonde better back off and let go right now. The whole thing seriously annoys Xinyi. Yutang is just a daughter of destiny, whatever that means. But Yutang gets even more hyped up. Her own aura absolutely explodes outwards. Highly offended a basic girl would dare challenge a literal immortal, her energy levels spike insanely high. But suddenly, she gets this super weird vibe. Her hand feels totally trapped inside solid rock. It feels exactly like she's pushing against a massive mountain. She literally cannot move a single muscle. How is this even physically possible? Having known the brunette forever, there is zero chance Xinyi could be a hidden immortal too. Now she stares at her, heavily rethinking everything. Watching nearby, Lin Mo realizes things just got incredibly messy. He seriously questions Xin Yi's true identity now. After that clash, Yu Tang speeds off on her motorcycle, lost in deep thought. Xin Yi being a hidden cultivator makes absolutely zero logical sense. But right now, she is hyper-focused on uncovering the actual truth behind it all. Over a quick phone call, someone confirms they snagged the security footage she asked for. They say the incident involves her directly, but she aggressively cuts them off. She demands they send the clip immediately. Up until now, nothing on tape looked remotely sus. She had no reason to doubt it. With her luck increasing, that weird dream definitely meant something. Now she has to see this through. Binge-watching the video, a specific detail catches her eye. It is the exact building by the crash site. Right there on tape, she sees Shen Yu walking. Suddenly, she remembers the super shady threat that girl previously dropped. Shen Yu targeting mortals again? This time, she's definitely not letting it slide. Cut to a loud club. Some guys brag about how goated it is hanging with the Yang family immortal. Glued to her phone screen, she tells the guys to talk amongst themselves and leave her alone. Her mind is clearly somewhere else. Based on all her deep dives, Lin Mo was an ordinary guy, but she strongly suspects his real backstory got completely scrubbed. A supreme body of pure Yang energy. It makes her sick. The blonde scored something so insanely rare. But watch closely now. A loud kick blasts the door open. Yu Tang arrives, completely fuming. The guy with the blue beard nervously asks, "What brings her here?" She aggressively slams her hand onto the table holding the recording. She has a very specific question for Tiano tonight. The gray-haired woman sighs, saying her family never changes. The blonde desperately needs to touch grass and learn manners. Then she firmly orders her lackey to bounce. Only the two women and the blue-haired guy stay behind. Yu Tang demands to know why she was with that girl today. Tiano just stares down at her cynically. Playing completely dumb, she claims she has zero clue what Yu Tang means. Since she refuses to talk, Yu Tang decides to violently refresh her memory right here. Back then, Wei Yin was on her squad, and they actually grinded their way to the spring selection finals. The crew they wiped out in the final round went by Heaven's Gate. The gray-haired girl deadpan asks if she is supposed to be hyped about that. Yu Tang snaps and tells her to quit capping. She already knows Shen Yu led that exact team. Just out of pure saltiness, she crippled Simi and straight up murdered Wei Yin, all just to troll the blonde and feed her toxic ego. Shen Yu dramatically covers her mouth. She lets out a heavy sigh, then just starts busting out laughing. But Yu Tang is dead serious, demanding to know what is so insanely funny. Shen Yu calls Yu Tang totally adorable, casually lighting up a smoke like it is nothing. Honestly, she was just bored back then and threw together a squad that totally threw the finals. She literally knew nothing about the enemy team, only realizing right now that it was Yu Tang's crew. And trust me, if she knew her rival was right there, she never would have fumbled that chance. The blue-haired dude chimes in, explaining that Shen Yu comes from an old-money immortal family, so she would never waste her time on such basic, low-level drama. Since she was bored out of her mind back then, she just wanted to touch grass. It meant absolutely nothing, and she swears she does not even recognize that girl. Ending up in the exact same recording was just wild RNG. Snatching the phone right back, the blonde asks if he seriously expects her to buy that. They walked into the building together, and Shen Yu only walked out after Wei Yin jumped. That is zero coincidence. But the gray-haired girl fires back that tons of NPCs walk through there, and jumping to conclusions about her involvement is just a huge stretch. Still, if the blonde wants to throw hands right now, she can bring it on. This time around, she is going full try hard and will not hesitate for 1 second. So Yu Tang better bounce right now before she actually gets mad. Absolutely raging, the blonde kicks a random prop, daring the woman to say that to her face. The blue-haired guy physically holds her back. He tells Shen Yu they will let it slide today, just out of respect for her dad. But the second Yu Tang finds that final hard evidence, she is going to absolutely ruin her and her whole bloodline. Dropping that threat, she finally storms off. The blue-haired guy sighs, admitting Yu Tang acts way too impulsive, but her warning is dead serious. With a freezing glare, Shen Yu asks if he thinks she is capping. He claims that is not it, but it has been a super messy year for everyone. And beefing with their biggest sponsor family is just a terrible business move. Taking another drag, she tells him to go ahead and leave. No need to wait up. So he dips out, muttering about their toxic vibes. Shen Yu is left completely solo, in the room with her smoke. Dialing up her contacts, she demands to know who leaked that clip, and orders them to delete the leaker immediately. Game over. She slams her phone down hard. Sure, she originally invited the blonde over, but she really does not mind catching a few mortal bodies sometimes. And this time around, it will be brutal and totally lawless. She is locking in to wipe Yu Tang out. Cut to a restaurant, where Lin Mo is staring at the server. She is clearly showing him options. Checking out the fried crabs on display, Lin Mo says that is exactly what he wanted. Hearing him out, the server nods, confirming the order is locked in. but Lin Mo asks why he got served something else entirely. She explains it is a VIP menu, prepped specifically by Yu Tang, and the chef has never even seen such insane, high-tier ingredients. For Lin Mo, all this extra flexing is just completely unnecessary. Taking that in, the blonde gets totally triggered and visibly upset. She claims this dish is some rare delicacy, begging for his help to identify the ingredients. Since she keeps begging, Lin Mo reluctantly caves. She claps her hands, totally hyped up, completely thrilled by his answer. The blonde immediately orders the chef to bring out everything else, since her friend will not be eating out here. Knowing Lin Mo strictly prefers peace and quiet, she actually prepped a whole empty VIP room just for his meal. In response, he flat out tells her to stop doing such meaningless extra stuff anymore. Reacting to that, she totally grabs his arm. He just hits her with a serious side-eye. But get this to her, it is not meaningless. She is down absolutely bad for him, hoping to claim him someday. This gesture is packed with super heavy romantic intentions. Catching her confession, he acts a bit surprised, but then flashes a tiny smile. If she wants to simp, he is fine with it. As Lin Mo walks off, the blonde catches someone stepping up. She is instantly shook by who it is. It is the brunette asking for another game. The blonde aggressively body blocks her, saying they should head to his private reserved room. Plus, if he actually wants to play games, he can just play with her instead. Seeing this happen, the brunette roasts the blonde for always acting so incredibly bossy and unhinged, causing massive headaches for everyone else around. She immediately throws her hand out, pointing away. A bunch of students are creeping on them. Lunchtime drama is just irresistible. She explicitly points out this VIP stunt was supposedly just to give Lin Mo some peace, but all she did was drag crazy attention onto him. Not to mention, her body physically got hurt because of this blonde. After hearing that call-out, the blonde loudly snaps that enough is enough. She starts shooing the rubberneckers away, telling the crowd to go touch grass because they have zero business watching this. Following that, she drops a huge sigh. She finally admits she analyzed her toxic behavior with her older sister, totally knowing it caused the brunette actual pain. She fully knew she caused major trouble and completely understood all the heavy hate. Now watch this drama unfold. She is absolutely not handing Lin Mo over to her rival, and the brunette refuses to give up her goated chess partner either. While these two verbally spar, Lin Mo casually announces he is dipping. Honestly, he is just deep in thought about the brunette's real nature. Seeing him bounce, the blonde desperately tries stopping him, but the brunette sticks her arm out, right in front of her face. She firmly asks her to stop bothering Lin Mo. Yu Tang snaps back she does not care. She is a cultivator too, but the brunette should stop using chess as an excuse to simp. Liking him is fine, but do not actively interfere. She openly claims the brunette is only getting close for petty revenge, risking his actual feelings. Things would get insanely messy for her. But actually, that is just completely false. Blushing super hard, the brunette swears she does not like him. Just platonic chess partners. Taking her word for it, the blonde finally drops the brunette's collar. Since she is honestly showing decent intentions, the blonde decides to chill. She makes it crazy clear the brunette is zero competition here. Because she can literally offer Lin Mo everything, she asks what the brunette even brings. Without missing a single beat, the brunette says she can play chess, which completely silences Yu Tang. Clutching her head in pure defeat, Yu Tang loudly groans she just cannot deal with this anymore. Now the brunette is just chilling alone on the terrace without her friend. She reaches her hand out across the empty chessboard. Playing solo is definitely insanely boring. She just plays alone. She has lived forever, but this is straight up the dullest weight of her life. Eyes locked on the terrace door. After all that drama, he is still a complete no-show. That blonde chick's words are living rent-free in her head. What can she even offer Lin Mo? Honestly, she has absolutely zero clue how to answer that. Her grand romantic gesture is literally just a freezing balcony and playing chess. With her demonic power coming back, the freezing temperatures do not faze her at all. But Lin Mo is just a regular dude, sitting out in the cold without complaining once. It actually blows her mind. This goated demon queen is catching real feelings for a normie. Then again, if she conquers the whole world, she could literally hand Lin Mo anything he wants. Right in the middle of overthinking, the door clicks open. She instantly jumps up, hoping it is him. False alarm, just some tiny, random creature. She is standing there completely baffled. The local cultivators are totally weak anyway. Only the Immortal Emperor and that demon sword pose any real threat. Slumping against the railing, her mind races. Thousands of years alive, and she has never felt this incredibly anxious. Did he just ditch her and go straight to that room Yu Tang set up? She figures modern kids just need to go touch grass. Maybe that super awkward moment earlier actually made him run off. Why is she stressing so hard over him anyway? The dude is supposed to just be her chess buddy. That blonde girl really got into her head, making her second-guess her own feelings. She really hopes Lin Mo is not getting the absolute wrong idea. She decides to explain herself right away before this whole awkward situation gets any worse. She finally calls him up, nervously dropping her name. He literally tells her she's a nice girl who deserves better and just hangs up the phone. She did not see that rejection coming. Smashing the phone on the ground, she growls that he should actually listen before jumping to crazy conclusions. And that is our sick cliffhanger. Make sure you smash that bell so you do not miss what happens next. Stay hyped, and catch you next time on Tob's channel.